This is Walt Disney. I would like to welcome all of you to the Park Streamers Hangout tonight. Bob, Danny, and Cordy are dear friends, and I know they have an amazing podcast for you. So thanks for joining us tonight, and enjoy the show.
Well, hey kids, dreamers, and jammers, welcome back to Park Streamers Hangout. I am Theme Park Casual, also known as Danny. I am joined by my co-host, Barry Place 28, also known as Bob, and Cordy in California. I think we just know you as Cordy for the most part.
Pretty much.
So, but before we get started, Cordy, you want to let everybody know where they can find you on social media?
You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, Cordy in California.
Awesome. And now, Mr. Barry Place 28, would you let everybody know where they can find you?
I'm gonna have to be like Cordy and think about that. Where did I
I know.
Oh, that's right. So you guys can find me at Barry Place 28 on all my socials, which is Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. So
Awesome. Thank you, guys. And you can find me at Theme Park Casual on YouTube, X, and Instagram. And we're going to go ahead and start by bringing in a very special guest. I wanted to have him on our show for a while now. We've had many requests to invite him on. So I reached out just a couple of weeks ago, and I was thinking, you know what, we probably need to ask him soon, because if we don't ask him now, it'll probably be October before we can get him on the schedule because of how often he is streaming and doing stuff. But ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Pete McDevitt from the Pete McDevitt Show on YouTube.
Hello.
Pete, welcome in.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, it's an honor to have you on here. Like I said, I've been wanting to have you on for a while, and we've had lots of people asking for you. Mm-hmm. So thank you for taking the time. We know it's late on your side, so hopefully we'll keep the show lively enough to keep you awake.
We'll be good. We'll be ready to roll.
But before we get started, Pete, why don't you let everybody know where they can find you on social media?
Social media, Pete McDevitt Show, just about everywhere. YouTube, all of the Instas and TikToks and all that kind of good stuff. And PeteMcDevittShow.com is our website, which we're in the process of elevating to another level, rebuilding that. So, but yeah, Pete McDevitt Show, a little bit everywhere.
Awesome. Okay, everybody, make sure you go and check him out. Whatever socials you're on, you should be able to find Pete McDevitt Show. So make sure you go and check him out, especially here on YouTube. He is constantly having all kinds of Disney content, as well as if you're a sports fan, he does fantastic sports casting. So please go check him out. I've often told him that he's got one of the coolest sports casting voices. He really does a fantastic job.
Thank you.
So, but with that, we're going to go ahead and find out a little bit more about you, Pete. I'd like to start off with my little story of how I got to know you.
Okay.
I was at Disneyland one night, and I was getting ready to go on Splash Mountain. So I was breaking down the camera to get it off the gimbal, because I had already had it fly off the gimbal once. Didn't want that happening again. No. And I put my BRB little bumper on the screen. And this Pete McDevitt guy shows up and in the comment just says, "Yeah, that's a nice little bumper." And I was like, okay, well, that was kind of nice. Thanks, Pete. You know, I didn't know who he was. And then it was probably like maybe a couple weeks later, all of a sudden I'm waiting for Fantasmic, and I get all kinds of people saying, "Pete McDevitt sent me. Pete McDevitt sent me." And I'm like, okay, where are all these people? Who's this Pete McDevitt? Why are all these people showing up? And I was really a young streamer still at that point. I think I'd only been live streaming for about 6 or 7 months. And the next day I got a message from Pete saying, "Hey, give me a call. I want to talk to you about your live streaming. I want to, try to help you out a little bit." And when I called him, boy, did he set me straight. It was like, "Hey, I sent a bunch of people over to you. Nobody was saying hi to them. You got to get doing this and make sure you're doing that." And all this. And I'm sitting there taking notes and writing stuff down. And I was just like, who is this guy? That just randomly showed up in my stream and now is like giving me all kinds of advice. So with that, how did you get into the streaming and, grow it into what you have now? Because we'll get into it a little bit more, but you've got a lot going on.
Well, the first thing I should make sure I should say it was a positive call of advice, not of critiquing. It was more
Right.
of what I tend to do, which is take all the information that I've learned over time of doing this, and rather than do what YouTube was 5 years ago, where everybody said, "Oh, I'm not gonna share, I'm not gonna tell anybody to go there, I'm not gonna do this. Oh, I know this, I'm gonna keep it to myself because I've got to keep every subscriber." I do it just the opposite. I share as much as I can and try to help people with as much as I can. I'm not always right, and I'm far from perfect, but I leave it up to the creator to decide if they want to do it. I got into this. Long story short, I had a medical tragedy in my life in 2019. Actually, I take a step back. I've been in the YouTube community with Disney for about 10 years. I started years ago, back when Pagey Mr. Morrow and Nate had 2 or 3 thousand, and I was friends with him from down in the parks, and I was following Resort TV 1 and supporting them. I was a moderator for them. I was one of WDW couple. They're now Adventures of Josh and Taylor. I was one of their first moderators, and just enjoyed moderating and being a part of the community and learning about Disney and getting that fix for when you're not at the parks. And in 2019, when I had a medical tragedy that almost took my life, when I came back home from it, my son, actually, when I came out of my coma, my son said, "Dad, I want to do YouTube. They won't let me. They keep kicking me off because I'm too young." And I was all drugged up and in so much pain. I was just like, "Oh, I'll do it with you when I get home." And wouldn't you know it, the minute I walked in the door 2 days later, "Dad, when are we going live?" And I begrudgingly did it because I gave my word to my son. But I started liking it. I started having fun. I figured when I was doing my stuff before the injury, I used to call myself an enhancer. I wasn't an influencer because I didn't create content, but I was out there moderating for channels. I was out there putting stuff up on multiple people for social media. I used to travel a lot for work, like 3 weeks a year or 3 weeks a month. I was traveling, and in airports, I had a sheet of paper that I had laminated and said YouTube. It said, "If you love Disney, here's the channels to go find." And I had them, all those ones that I followed, listed. And if I saw anybody with anything Disney on, I was handing it to him saying, "Hey, because YouTube was really in its infancy then. People didn't really know a ton about it at the time." So I started doing that, but I figured if I was gonna do a YouTube channel, I was gonna do the same thing. And my YouTube channel was gonna focus on two things. One, the things that I love, Disney and sports and baseball and football, primarily, and helping other people on YouTube. And I'm the only creator out there. I know this because I've researched. I'm the only guy out there that every time I broadcast on a Friday, I talk about up to 200 other channels that aren't mine and tell people to go check them out. Many of yours that we've
Yes.
talked about, all three of you that we've talked about or gone and done a raid to. The raids are not to be rude or ignorant. The raids are meant to take people from my area and open up the doors to yours, and hopefully they come in, they see the quality, they see the happiness, they see the magic of Disney, and they want to follow you. And that's the goal. So we have different segments on my channel that we do where we focus on highlighting creators under 1,000, which several of you have been in. We have the one in there on the race to 100K where we track channels. Once they hit the 3,500, 4,000 range, we track them all the way up to 100K, and we're showing their logo. We're showing their channel name every week, which is great. We have a what we call our our celebrity success of the week, sponsored by Casey, my good friend. And we will highlight, like, if a channel hits 10,000 subscribers or 15 or 20, or if they're under 10 and they hit 6 or 7, I'll get a screenshot of their channel and go on there and put a Disney button of congratulations. And we'll say, "Hey, congratulate, Cordy in California. She hit 5,000 this week, everybody." And, so we'll do that to highlight these people and focus on it. So many different things. We have a segment called People in the Parks, which I actually had several of you in recently, and some of your social media comes from people either sending me pictures or people that have approved me with social media to be following them. And I pull out pictures of people in the parks and share them. And the great thing is that does two things. It excites people because they get to see all their friends and all in the parks, or people they admire or creators they follow. But it's also a subliminal way for me to say, "Hey, here's a great picture of Barry's place with his daughter on Father's Day over in the parks,
Mhm.
you know, and it's another way of saying Barry's channel. It's another way of saying go follow Barry without saying the words go follow Barry. So again, my channel is all about helping others, and I love sports and broadcasting live baseball, live football. And the great thing about that is we find people that love sports that come in that didn't even know this Disney existed, this situation. So it's a beautiful thing. So that's a good thing. And I love the sports. We recently had the NFL on a recent NFL broadcast at the end last year. I think it was the game before the Super Bowl. We actually had YouTube NFL into my channel. And I was nervous thinking, oh God, they're going to shut me down or something. And they actually reached out to me and sent me a nice note and told me I was doing a great job and keep crushing what I'm doing. So
Awesome.
Nice. That is really cool.
yeah.
Okay. Barry Place, Cordy, do you guys have any questions for Pete? Should I? Because I've got a whole bunch of stuff that I would love to talk to him about. So,
Ladies first.
Well, you kind of covered some of the things I was curious about. You know, like how you got started and kind of what inspires you. Which it sounds like, you know, and what an awesome thing, right? To just want to support others, right, and lift others up. I think that's just amazing. So, and thank you. I want to thank you too. Like whenever I see them, like, oh, I love it. It's like, you know, it just, you know, puts a smile on her face. Every time.
I had a lucky start to mine. And when people start out their channels, I try to tell them, don't compare yourself to me in how you're doing or where you're going, because, you know, I was lucky when I started this whole YouTube journey to see, and I want to say, I see Molly and Tina are both in here supporting me tonight. Thank you, girls, for being here. I couldn't do my channel without their support. You know, I started this whole journey because I had been around in the community on the East Coast and supporting so many creators that when they were small, I supported them as if they were massive. Okay. You know, people like Paige and Mr. Morrow and Jackie Super Enthused and Resort TV One and Prince Charming Dev. These people were all friends of mine from being around the community and doing what I did. So when I started out my channel, they all came in and they helped me. I went from 0 to 1,000 in like 2.5 weeks or something like that. It was crazy. And then up over that in a quick pace because, you know, those creators who had earned a lot of stripes and a lot of followers got me up that way. So one of the things, again, why I said, you know, people did stuff for me, I wanted to pay it forward. And I go in and I look at every channel that I support. If you know, much like the three of you and many others, if I've shouted them out or sent people to our channel, or if I talk about them on my channel, I know they're family friendly. I know that they're trying to do the right thing, which is bring the Disney magic through their own eyes to people out there in the world and build a following of friends, because that's, to me, what this is about. It's about building friendships, you know, and it's about doing things for other people. I have found some of my closest friends in this whole community. You know, it's just amazing what this gift has given to me, and I continue to try to get it back. My most exciting day is not when I hit a milestone, while I'm always proud of it. My most exciting day is when I can shout out that somebody else has hit 1,000 subscribers, or 10,000, or 25, or 50, and you watch these people grow. You know, many people know JoJo from JoJo's World out there. I mean, he's at a 1.5 million followers now. I've been friends with JoJo when he had no followers and he was the sanitation guy at Disney parks. I remember walking around the park with him one day, hanging out with him, and it's been a blessing to watch him explode and get to where he's gotten. And, you know, to his tact and class, he still doesn't forget those people behind him, which is great.
Wow, that's great. Yeah.
And
Bob, did you have a question? Or
so I have a couple questions, but before we get into that, so the way I got familiar with Pete is because after you did that nice positive call with Theme Park Casual, he said, "Hey, Pete's got this moderator training. Do you want to attend it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll attend it." And I really enjoyed it and I really liked it. I thought it was really informative. I mean, while many of the stuff that you were talking about was common sense, it's good to hear it from another person's perspective, and especially, coming from you and your moderators who, have been doing this for a long time. And so those of you in the chat, or myself, Theme Park Casual and Cordy in California, have attended Pete's training, and it's usually a required course for our channels, so that they can moderate appropriately and accordingly for all of us. And I've learned some great things from you, as well as my moderators have. And so I just want to say thank you, because that class is amazing.
Okay, and the class is free. We should make sure everybody knows.
Free.
The class is
free. It's open to anyone.
Anybody that wants to attend it.
It's anyone that wants to attend it. And I think the other thing too is that I don't know of any other content creators out there that are doing that like you are, to help other people. And the thing that really drew me to your channel is the fact that you're there to help other creators. You're there to have fun, to get to know other people out there, and share that with others, like you just mentioned earlier. And so to me, that's really, really important, because if it wasn't for you and Theme Park Casual and Cordy and many others, Adventures in the Park, etc., I probably wouldn't have the channel that I have today. And obviously you're always trying to do something new and different, but at the same time, and Pete will attest to this too, but I always try to, if I have someone in the park with me, I always tell you guys who they are. I always promote their channel, even if they're not live streamers. And I think it's important to help others out as well. So and I had that philosophy before I met you, Pete, but it just helped me to really grow my channel, and I appreciate it. So
that moderator chat started because I was watching a guy that's not in Disney that has 2 million followers at the time. This was a year or 2 years ago, and he just talked about the fact of that people come to your channel for your content. People come to your channel and stay because of the creator. They stay because of your sound. They stay because of your lighting. But the one thing that why people will leave is because of how blank your chat is, and it was all negative words. And so I went and pulled 10 incredible moderators together that have been doing it for years. I renamed them Moduneers, and we put this class together. I had over 200 sheets of Word doc to go through, and we built it and put it together. And it's a simple tutorial, because when I started this, nobody gave me any teachings. I just got a couple wrenches, and I'm just sitting there trying to figure it out. Well, I feel, and there's a lot of people that feel this way, that if we teach people how to moderate to the best of their ability, or we help veteran moderators polish their skills, or if veterans come in and say, hey, this is a great class, but you forgot X, Y, and Z, could you add it in? And that's happened. We can build the biggest, strongest community we got. And if we all build a strong Disney community where people that love Disney come in and find it and want to stay because they're treated with respect, because, we're sitting here talking Disney tonight, and your chat's not all talking about, two pit bulls fighting or something, just not on topic, or there's trolls in there, or, people aren't being said hello to and recognized and talked to and made the chat feel if we do all that, we could make it better. I think we've done that. And my class, God bless, Monorail Molly's in here. Molly comes into all my classes and helps me to facilitate my Moduneers. Mike Wheeler and Stacy Rogers and several of them come in consistently, and they help to teach new people. And it's not something you can only take once. You can take it as many times as you like. And the more you get out of it, we hope the better.
Awesome. All right. So I got a couple of easy questions for you. So let's get off that. But so many people don't understand that you don't really do live streaming from the park. You do it all from pretty much home right there.
96%. Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, I love that room. It's so cool because it's got, little everything that you do there, which is neat. But okay, I got to know, what is your favorite Disney character?
Favorite Disney character, Roger Rabbit.
Roger, oh, that's a good one.
He's actually up on the shelf, right up next to my sports logo up there, with my ears up top. If you can see, there's Roger Rabbit, and there's a painted Roger Rabbit. There's actually behind me on the shelf, which is a little dark, there's a Jessica. So Roger Rabbit he's my one. Two things. One, when I was younger and when the movie came out, what Roger represented to me was two things: romance and happiness. He was about comedy, and nobody really realizes that Roger Rabbit is truly a love story. It's, if you take it and pull it apart, it's all about, at the beginning, a a rabbit that's in love with his better half and spends the whole entire movie trying to justify it all the way through. And it's a great thing. I love that movie. It's my favorite movie.
Awesome. And then my next question would be, what's your favorite Disney park and non-Disney park?
Disney park. Ugh. The next one I'm going to would be my answer. Probably, I haven't been to California yet. Okay. So it's on my bucket list. I'm trying to get, some of my friends together to come out there in the spring and put together my first visit to see the park. I haven't been to any international parks yet. I've been to the 4 in Walt Disney World, and from the 4 down there, they're all different. I love them for different reasons. You go to Magic Kingdom, it's all Walt and Roy and the history of the Fantasyland and all of that. You leave there and head to Epcot, and it's beverages and science and new and stuff like that. And Animal Kingdom, seeing the safari. There's nothing like it. And then you finish out at Hollywood Studios, and that's where we get our Star Wars land and all of our fun there. So it's so different for me. I love them all, and my favorite is the next one I'm going to get to.
All right. What about non-Disney park?
Non-Disney parks, I'd probably say Hershey Park. Just because it's an East Coast thing. I love Hershey. I can eat a chocolate bar or two, and and I've been there. I used to work with the military with Hershey, so I spent many days up there taking soldiers to the park and doing stuff. So it has a little bit of that on my resignation there too. So
very nice,
awesome. So, my question was going to be: you get a 1-week trip to any Disney resort in the world. Which one do you go to?
If it's given to me now, I am packing a bag, taking a friend, and I'm going to Disneyland, and I'm staying at the Grand Californian, and I'm going to take the full week to take in the park, to walk in Walt's steps, to feel everything of what Walt felt. I actually have 4 to 5 pictures that I've printed out of Walt in the park. And one of my things when I go out there is I'm going to go find those spots. I'm a huge historian, and Florida is Roy's parks in my mind, and California is Walt's from the timing and the way everything went down. We don't have a Florida if it's not Roy, from what he did after the fact and changing Epcot to what it is now. And I don't think we have any of it without Walt's vision of what he wanted to do, from making it a little thing down the street in California from the studios to what it is in Anaheim. And I think if he'd had more time on this earth, it would have been amazing to see what else he could have come up with. I'm ecstatic with what we have with the Imagineers and the people that have supported and come behind Walt in this time. But I would have liked to have seen, when I think about Walt's passing, I think about what we didn't get, what was still up there that we didn't get. And I think about that. But yeah, that would be my thing. I'd go to Disneyland for that week and take my time and really take in everything. And if I had if I had already done Disneyland, then my answer would be Tokyo Sea. I'd want to see the international, but I haven't been to California yet. And I need to get there before I go international.
Yeah. Well, you've got a wide, gigantic group of friends that are ready to be there to see you take your first steps on our tiny little Main Street compared to Disney World, and have you go, where's the castle?
It's quaint.
It is.
I've really, in watching a lot of live streams lately, I was on with Monorail Molly one night. We were watching one of the streams and just talking about the parks, and I was actually trying to figure out where things were, trying to get an understanding. And as you go around, and to me, it's not about the fact of the size, because you can have it be as small and quaint as it is, or as massive as it is. If it doesn't have the story, if you're not immersed in the story, if you can't feel the presence and the thoughts that came behind Walt's initial reactions, then it doesn't matter, and when you go out there, in my mind, I can think about the fact of, I remember in this picture where Walt was walking down here, Walt was walking by here, or, hey, this and that. So I think that inflection makes a difference. That's what I'm ecstatic about. I'm not worried about the size because you have one thing right there that nobody else has. And that's sitting on a bench looking up at Walt's apartment, knowing that the light's on in tribute to his memory, his spirit that still reigns in that park. And the fact that you had Walter Elias Disney walk those streets, stay in that apartment. Nobody else, I don't care how big, how incredible they build, wherever they build in the world, nobody else has that but Disneyland. And that's yours, and you guys own it. And I know from watching all of your streams and several other people out there how much you respect and appreciate that. And I love that.
Awesome. Very, very well said. And if you do get out here, I would love to make sure that you get to go on the Walt's Main Street Story tour so that you can actually step into that apartment.
I would love to
go
in there.
Me and Bob got to do that. It was my 50th birthday last year, and Mrs. Casual got us the tour.
Very nice.
A surprise. And both me and Bob had to take the picture of us looking out the window. And when I was looking out, I was doing basically what you were saying. I was trying to think, what was Walt's thoughts as he was looking out, seeing, the kids running, the smiling faces, everything that went into that park, and then to see it become such a success. What were his thoughts when he would look out that window to see all of the people out there? And I was just like, when you're standing in that room, it's unlike anything else that you can experience at Disneyland. It really is one of those, you feel Walt.
You do.
And it's really something. So I would definitely, love to make sure that you can take that tour when you're out there. So.
One of the things that I run, the focus of my channel on is, one of Walt's words out there when he did his speech for the grand opening, that, to everyone, welcome. Everyone welcome. And that's what I try to do my channel, thinking of Walt saying those words. And I also saw an interview that was done with him one time where he was talking about, what are some of the greatest things that he's getting back out of that. And he talked about relationships that he had gotten out of that, the relationships with his Imagineers, the relationships with the people that he's met in the parks, the relationships, the whole conversation started because of how many top line celebrities came to the opening at Disneyland. You're talking Sinatra was there, and Danny Kaye, Ronald Reagan, and all of these people that were there. And Walt talked about that. And the amazing thing is that continues today. I'm sitting here with you three amazing people today that I've made friendships with because, a long time ago, a guy who fell flat on his face and had everything stripped from him drew a picture of a mouse on a napkin and said, "I'm not going to give up." And here we are today. And that's what my channel's given me. I can tell you right now that some of my closest friends on this entire earth are part of this Disney community. And when I go to Walt Disney World, I don't have to worry about going down there by myself. There's tons of people, and I'm ecstatic about going to Disneyland to meet all of you good people and several others that I've met, because I feel like I'm going to go out there and feel like home again. And that's a beautiful thing. I do my channel. Molly's in here now, and Tina, and Molly's a major part of my channel, one of my best friends. Tina, one of my best friends that I've met through this thing, and that's what you can get out of it. It's great. I think Walt would want that for all of us. I really do. I really do.
Yeah, but how do we follow that up? I mean, it's but I mean, you're saying exactly, what we've talked about, between, each other is, for me, I was an extreme introvert. You possibly wouldn't ever guess that the way I am now on my streams, but I've gone back to watch, like, how did I do way back when, when I first started streaming, and I'm just like, man, how it's so different to see how I was with the things, that I remember going through my brain at the time. And now it's like a completely different thing. And like you said, the friendships that I've been able to create, not just with, Cordy and Bob and the people that are there at the parks, but even people that I've never met, people that are just, I only know their screen name. I have no idea what their real name is, but I was saying it just the other day on the stream. You guys don't understand how happy it makes me when I see your name come back into the stream. It makes me feel like I think I'm doing something worthwhile.
That's a great thing. And part of the look, when I started this 10 years ago and was doing it, many people initially as Disney, YouTube, social media started up. I could tell you 10 years ago, it was maybe 2 or 3 people going from California and maybe 4 to 5, 6 on a consistent basis from Florida. And one of the things I always heard is, oh, you can't go out there because they're California and that's what they, and they're not going to come here because we're East Coast and we're Florida. I personally, honestly, don't give a rat's backside about this giant invisible wall that's coming down the middle of the Mississippi and breaking. We all love Disney. Okay. Here's the great thing. This is why I'm doing what I'm trying to do and open this up between California and Florida. If more people that follow the California streamers that work out there on the West Coast or in Hawaii or something can find the East Coast people, well, guess what? When they're getting off work at 2:00, they've got people that are live in the parks right there. They can come out, they can see them. They've got Disney shows that are talk shows that are going. I have a Sunday talk show with the ladies that's absolutely crushing it right now. I have a Tuesday show that I do with Molly, interviewing Imagineers and people like that. There's great content. And guess what? When we're closing up shop at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, there is a ton of incredible content in California that you can lay in bed and listen to. And I've done it with all 3 of your streams and fallen asleep to you guys. That we can help each other and we can open this up. There's no reason that all 3 of you at some point can't be at 10, 20, 30, 50, 100K or more, whatever number God has for you, with more people following you from the East Coast, from the Europe and the UK and vice versa. And that's what I'm trying to do. I don't care if I never get there, then that's not God's plan. That's fine. But if I can be there to see more people reap success, then I'll feel like I've done something. And that's where my goal is. When I see others have success and to hit magical numbers, it means everything to me.
Wait, did you say you're falling asleep to us?
Yeah, when it's 1:30 in the morning. And
well, I was going to say some of you guys on the East Coast could probably wake up with Cordy.
Yeah,
she goes so late. You guys are probably getting your workday going.
This is a true story. So Monroe Molly was a little under the weather, and one night, and we were up. We were up chit chatting back and forth, and I went live just to keep her company and blah blah blah. And other people came in, and we created this show that I do now at 11:30. The one that I come raid you guys with, which is Disney Insomniacs. And literally when I finished and we did the stream till like 2, and she's like, I'm going to bed. And I was like, good, go get some rest. And I literally started to turn my computer off, and here pops up Cordy, and she's still going strong. And I laid in bed listening to Cordy. I don't even remember. She's talking about something shopping. I don't even remember. I was half asleep, but it was Disney content, and that's what I was falling asleep to. And if I can fall asleep listening to Disney, then the Lord's blessed me. That's a good thing because it's happiness. I worked for 20 years privately supporting the military. I had responsibilities for every base from Bangor, Maine, all the way down to Cherry Point, North Carolina, all 6 branches of our United States military. And I've done just about everything when it comes to support, from working in the commissaries and the exchanges to helping Gold Star and 5-star families to, being there when some soldiers were greeted and came home in a casket. And every day when I went to Andrews Air Force Base, which was my home base, I was greeted with soldiers carrying machine guns and weaponry. I had to go through body checks and car checks to get on safely. I had to follow rules and regulations at a higher level because it was the president's base. I could never go to work wearing Goofy on my shirt, wearing a Donald Duck hat, and walk into the Pentagon and greet 4-star generals or lower and say, hey, how you doing? Here I am. But you know what? I can go to a Disney park at any point, and I can have a magical moment with my kids, and see them enjoy that. I can watch other families have smiles. I can stand and watch the flag retreat where in and I'm not sure if they do it in Disneyland. I would hope that they do. I know in Magic Kingdom we have our flag retreat at 5 o'clock, and a soldier retired generally is there doing it. And you can do those things, and I can find happiness, and that's the great thing about Disney. It's putting a smile on people's faces.
Yeah, we have ours at 4:30 p.m. and they invite anyone that's you know, in the military or former military to join the flag.
Beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah, it's a great thing.
Yeah, anytime that I watch it, I always have to take the time, and if any of the service members are still there, I go and try to shake every single one of their hands and tell them thank you.
Love it. I love it. I am very passionate about our military. It's not only the soldiers who serve. That's what people don't get. The family serves too. The moms, the daughters, the grandparents, they all sacrifice part of themselves for the soldier that's in there. Disney does a great job. Shades of green down there at Walt Disney World for our soldiers, the military, location for Disney, taking care of the soldiers. The way I see cast members, I can't tell you how many times I've seen someone with a hat that says Desert, Storm, or World War II vet or whatever. And I see cast members thanking them and saying, hey, thank you for your service. It's just a great thing. And I love that. It's important. It's important because without all those people, we don't have this. The freedom that we have for me to get on a plane, hopefully in the spring, and drag a couple friends with me and come out to see you guys and say hello and greet you face to face and say, hey, thank you for your friendship. Thank you for trusting me. We couldn't do that if the soldiers didn't stand a post.
Very true. Very true. Okay, I think we're going to wrap up the interview portion, but I do want to ask one last question. I think this should hopefully put a nice little bow on getting to know Pete. Do you have a special in the park memory that stands out and stands above all the others?
Stands out and stands above all the others. I'll give you two.
I kind of figured there's not going to be just one because I think most of us have like 3 or 4 of them that we would say are the best. But
now, I'll pull out two that I have. Okay, one involves my kids, and I was down in the park. Actually, let me take the other one first. Just recently, I was on a recent trip. I went down there for the Festival of the Arts, and I was down there with a group of friends. Disney Baker was there, Monorail Molly was there, Jeff is our dream. A lot of them friends came over, and I was standing in the Germany area of Epcot, and we were eating some food, and everybody was just chit chatting. And I looked around, and it was 20 different creators from YouTube, all there, just sitting, talking, having fun, which I thought was spectacular because they came of their own accord. Okay. So I thought that was incredible, as I'm sitting there watching that, and to see, to be there, with me working on the channel and Molly being there helping me with that, and Baker coming over to help me with that, Casey coming over to help me. And all of a sudden I look up and it's all these other creators just hanging out. It was incredible. Two, I would say, my son's most recent birthday, which was a year ago, July, next month, I was down there and I put out a text message and said, hey, I'm going to be doing Preston's birthday. No gifts. Nobody has to give anything, but we're going to do dinner at Via Napoli. Would you like to, if you'd like to come on up. We had 56 people show up from the Disney YouTube community. Wow. that were creators. We had the whole entire massive table in there. And then the third thing is probably the most touching to me, I would say, is I had a person come up of severe disability, severe autism, who followed my channel, whose mom told me that, hey, Brian watches your channel and pretends he's moderating for you as he's sitting there watching. Now he's severely challenged. So doing that in any faculty couldn't happen. And she's like, we saw that you were here on Instagram and we've been hunting you for 2 hours. My son did not want to leave the park. He could care less if he saw Mickey Mouse, but he had to meet you. And I stopped and took about, Chris Dadbuilds was actually on that trip with me. down there. And Chris was actually, I pulled Chris over. I said, hey, come over here and meet this young man, and introduced him to Brian. And I sat and through his mother translating with him. I sat and talked with him. And, when you have someone that comes to find you in the parks and their life is more challenged than yours, but yet they find happiness talking to you, that's a beautiful thing.
That's exactly it. I mean, you nailed it right there with, why we do what we do. I think I speak for all of us, and I hope I'm not stepping on anyone with it, but we just want to bring a little bit of joy into people's lives. And, we try to just, Disneyland is one of those places that is very special to all of us. And so we just want to, like I said, just try to bring that joy, because we know not everybody can get to the parks the way we do. And to be able to, like you said, to be able to have people say that, hey, I've enjoyed your streams, it's really helped me, it makes it all worth it.
Makes a difference. I tell people, if you want to find all of the great creators out on YouTube, come to my channel. You don't have to subscribe. Would I love them to subscribe? Yeah, I'd love you to subscribe. I put out Disney content 7 days a week. I'm probably one of the only people out there that's broadcasting that much, not only one time a day, sometimes as much as 5 times a day. But if you come to me, I guarantee you I'll open up the doors to Florida, California. I've got people from Europe, from the UK that I have a whole UK list of people. Here's some great creators. If you're looking for the magic, I'll help you get there. And when you get there, subscribe to that person for me. That makes me happy.
Awesome. Well, I think we're going to go ahead and transition now. We will get into some of that talk that you were speaking of, that we'll start chewing on some of this theme park stuff. And we'd love to hear your thoughts on some of these.
Sure.
But we're going to start with something that's out here in Southern California. Obviously, you probably have not had a chance to visit Knott's Berry Farm.
I want to.
I was going to say another one. If you're out here, we would be happy to drag you over to the farm for a day of some boysenberry and some barbecue.
Okay.
But with Knott's, we've got one of their more, I'd say, festivals happening now, and that is Knott's Summer Nights, along with Ghost Town Alive. And I guess the food portion is called Flavors of Summer, is it? Or is it Summer of Flavor or something like that?
Oh,
there it is. Flavors of Summer.
You're muted, Bob.
it's the best he's ever sounded. I'd like to just throw that out.
Thanks, Pete. Sorry. Family was walking by, and so I wanted to mute myself. I just didn't realize I had myself on mute. I just wanted to see if anyone would fill in for me. No. So anyhow, it's called Flavors of Summer. And the cool thing about Flavors of Summer is this is all on the dining plan. And these are eligible options that you can get. So we always talk about how Knott's Berry Farm has some amazing food, especially during the Boysenberry Festival. But look at some of the things they have here. And by the way, this is shared by Cleverly Catherine on Facebook from the Knott's pass holder page. But you've got your Sutter's Pizza, which is a Nashville hot chicken pizza. That's a new and original, right? Mm-hmm. You've got your Grizzly Creek Lodge. You've got the Aloha Hawaiian Pizza. At the Papas Mexicanas, you got the Mexican loaded fries with jalapenos, beans, pico de gallo, sour cream, and choice of protein. Ooh, I'm getting hungry already. Yeah. You got Wilderness Dogs and Drinks has a crab and shrimp roll. Now, I was looking forward to this, and I sent this out to to Theme Park Casual and Cordy this past weekend. And Theme Park Casual was like, yeah, I'm not really a seafood person. I'm like, what? Oh, my goodness.
How did we not know this?
I know, really? I'll eat it for you. How's that?
Is it real crab or is it fake crab? Which crab is it? Is its question. If it's this Dungeness stuff you guys got going in California, I don't know what those are. They look like large spiders. Let me get on the blue crabs over here.
Yeah, well, we're not as lucky on the East Coast to have all those wonderful shellfish things, except for the spiny lobsters, so and scallops. Let's see, we've got the Miners Mac and Spuds has the loaded Sloppy Joe potato skins, and they also have a classic shrimp gazpacho with avocado and tortilla chips. And then over at the Prop Shop Pizzeria, we got chicken, cherry tomato, and pesto pizza basil, peach flatbread with balsamic glaze. And then over at Coaster's Diner, we got the Mediterranean chicken and quinoa bowl with, what the heck is that? I can't even
That
pronounce that.
tzatziki.
Thank you.
I can't read it.
Yeah, that's it. You got the Boardwalk Barbecue with the honey glazed pork loin. Ooh, yum.
That sounds
And
good.
also the summer salad with radishes, cucumbers, cherry tomatoes, and herbed ricotta. Last three places, Casa California Restaurante. They got the Mexican chopped salad with romaine. It has chicken, corn, beans, tomatoes, and cilantro lime vinaigrette. Baja Taqueria, we got the shrimp ceviche with tortilla chips. And last but not least, we have the Calico tater bites with the cheeseburger tots.
So
I don't know about that
like
one.
booths? Are these like booths like at Epcot, or you go around, or is this how's they do this?
Yeah, these are not actually booths. These are actually restaurants they have there, or little restaurant places or food stands. Not necessarily food stands like you'd find at the Food and Wine Festival. These are actually built-in places that.
They're the quick service counter type of places.
Yep. I am a foodie. I'll admit, I'm gonna be the first to tell you, I'm a huge foodie, and this sounds real. There's a lot of it here that sounds really good. So.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Knott's Berry Farm. They have a lot of, now not everything is amazing, but they have a lot of really good food, and so that's why I really like it, whether it's Boysenberry Festival or during the summer. And what's nice is they are always trying to mix it up and have something new and fresh. I mean, sometimes they bring back some favorites that we all love and enjoy, but I just think it's great that they're actually serving this.
It's this is very cool.
Yeah, and that's just part of the whole summer event that goes on at Knott's. I think we talked about it a little bit before on one of our other podcasts, but they do they call it Ghost Town Alive, and it's a interactive. I don't even know what to call it. It's just like it's a sort of a show, but it allows the guests to be part of it. But it's kind of also a game and role playing.
Wow.
And it goes all day long, and the kids get involved, and there's things and tasks to do. There's alliances, and people are voting for mayor and sheriff and all these things. And when you're there and you actually see how much fun the people are having in it, it kind of makes me wish that I could get into it. It's like I'm not much for the acting and role playing kind of thing. So it's a little tough for me, but when I'm watching it, I'm just enthralled with how, I mean, you're going to see the miner guy, that's playing the miner. He'll have a water bucket and he'll start throwing water on everybody because it's all hot and they're just all having fun. The kids are screaming and people are walking by getting splashed.
That's very cool.
And then they've got the bandits who are trying to recruit the kids, and the kids are trying to tell the sheriff what the bandit's going to be doing. And when it comes down to the end, they have the big Founders Day celebration, and you've literally got probably 80, 90 people square dancing in the middle of Knott's, and then they do a big conga line almost like throughout Ghost Town. And like you said, the joy that it brings is it's like off the charts for me. I'm like beaming the whole time that I'm watching this. So like I said, they do it every summer. It's been a gigantic hit for Knott's. And I think one of these days I'm actually going to have to just, I'm going to bite the bullet and take a day and just throw myself into this and see what it's really about, and just kind of, film it and just, in all my awkwardness, just go for it.
I love it.
So
just off topic, just for 1 second. I just want to say to everybody out there's a lot of people watching today through the 3 channels. And I want to just say thank you for blessing these channels the way you are, becoming members, and those of you gifting membership. When it comes down to the push and shove of being a YouTuber, there's a lot of little costs and little things that you have to do to make it happen. And I don't think you realize how much you're helping. So I love the fact that you're supporting these 3 people on the stream tonight and doing that. And it's just thank you for me. And you know what? Keep doing it. Keep dropping a little love here and there for your favorite creators, and it makes a huge difference. So bless you all. That's great.
Yeah.
Thank
you, everybody. And thank you, Pete. And then in the evening, Knott's goes just nuts. And Cordy, this is going to be your first full summer with it, yes. Right? They do what they call summer nights,
Okay.
And it is literally concerts and entertainment all over the park.
Wow. Do they do
They've got
fireworks there too at night?
no, they don't do fireworks. That's the one thing that
Mhm.
they're kind of a little more even more landlocked than Disneyland.
Okay.
They've literally got like houses on the other sides, across the street from them. That's extremely close. So they basically can only do fireworks, at 4th of July and New Year's for the most part.
Okay.
Yeah, they used to do them all the time for a long time, but not anymore.
Yeah, I think California has just kind of gotten weird with the whole fireworks restrictions. I think there's costs to
And about
it now
how far is Knott's from Disneyland? Drive time roughly.
drive time. If there's no traffic, you could get there in like 15 minutes.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize it was that close.
Yeah,
It's very close. It's only like 2.5, 3 miles.
Wow.
Really
Okay.
close.
Never knew that.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, not far at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, summer nights they have concerts. They've got the large stage. They've got the Calico Square stage. They've got the Fiesta Village stage. They've got Crazy Kirk and the Hillbillies, who used to be Billy Hill and the Hillbillies at Disneyland. They've got them in the Wagon Camp, and then they've got the Native American dancer. It's just last summer it was difficult to even be able to see all the shows.
Wow. That's cool.
And the thing that's crazy is that every night it's a different lineup of bands. So if you go on Monday and you go back on Thursday, you don't have to sit there and say, oh, well, we saw that band already. No, you've got a whole new lineup the entire night.
It's the one blessing Disney does a good job with. It's great to hear that Knott's Berry Farms, who is that close, is doing that as well to give entertainment wise.
Yeah.
To have it. I think that's very cool.
Yeah, last year the streams that I was doing at Knott's were some of the funnest streams because we were listening to music, and they're cover bands, so you're listening to songs that are familiar, and everybody was, we were, critiquing whether, oh, that singer, he's not doing that good on this one, or, oh, that's the song for him, he sounds just like it, and oh, the drummer, this guy's really into it tonight, or they need to turn the bass down a little bit. So we were just having fun with it, and it was one of the highlights of last summer for me, because last summer we didn't have Fantasmic at Disneyland, so it was kind of like a weird situation for Disney where they lost one of their big shows, and it left a gaping hole. And so for me, I kind of just transferred over to Knott's and kind of did that. And
Very
so
cool.
I'm looking forward to having Cordy, who's very famous for her Cordioki at the end of the night, to see if what she thinks and how her viewers will be taking to it. So are you looking forward to it, Cordy?
I am. No, I'm looking forward to, and we've all talked about how, Disneyland's open till midnight for the summer. So, we can go to Knott's and then power
How late
hour
are they
at
open?
Disneyland.
Are they open later than Disney?
They're open till 10, and then sometimes they'll go to 11. I know last year they did extend hours at times.
But it's so close, you can just hop over, right? Take a
Yeah,
look.
literally, you can catch the last band at like 9 o'clock. As soon as they finish their set, head out, hop in the car, pop over to Disneyland, and you'll be inside for Power Hour and be able to wrap up the night for another hour and a half at Disneyland.
I am blown away how some of you guys go from one park to the other within like seconds for closing shows. You guys will be watching one, they'll be like, all right, we're heading over here, we're going to go do the other one. I'm like, we can't do that, but this is really cool. So I like that. So
It's exhausting. Oh, did I say that? It's fun though. It really is fun. So
love it.
And then real quick, since we're talking about Knott's, this just came up today. I'm not sure if you guys saw this. Let me share it with all of you. But it was really cool to see this on Knott's Berry Farms Instagram page. And that is the new Camp Snoopy electric train. And so it's the same train that they had before, but now it's electric instead of a gas.
No, it looks pretty slow.
It's called the Beagle Express.
The Beagle Express. Oh, look at the Charlie Brown logos on there. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, because it's all Camp Snoopy themed. And this is going to be opening up on June 27th, everyone. So if you're excited, go check it out. It's going to be fun. There's 4 new rides, plus the new train that they put on there. And then some of your favorites will still be there as well. So definitely go check it out.
Nice.
Hey, before we continue on, we have a lot of, I think, thank yous we need to say in the chat for some memberships and stuff. So why don't we go to that real quick, because we got a bunch of stars. So Zomembies, thank you so much. You gifted one membership to Cordy in California, one to my channel, Barry Place 28, and one to Theme Park Casual. Thank you. Jason became a new member, obviously. We also have a member who's been with us for 8 months, I think it's Cordy's channel for Scully Star Fashions. Michelle, is it Seigel? Became a new member. I think Theme Park Casual's channel. Michelle, oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I thought I was bringing these up real quick. So I apologize. I thought I was clicking on these. I was not clicking on them. But also Michelle gifted me a... oh, no, that's something we're going to come back to. Sorry. Stephanie gifted $1.99 to my channel. So thank you, Stephanie. I appreciate it. Slim Devin was out there handing a bunch of memberships out to Theme Park Casual.
Slim Devin's a great
member.
Yeah.
Yes. To my channel as well. Of course, we've got some other members like Robola, who's been a good friend of all of ours, who's also a great streamer out there, who's been a member for 6 months. Michelle also got a new membership. I'm not sure if that was to my channel or Cordy's channel. But here's Slim Devin again, gifting more memberships to my channel and Cordy. Thank you. And Zomembies again to Theme Park Casual, my channel, to Cordy's channel. Boy, you guys are all over the place.
This is one of the things that I love. The community, when they just rally around you, you guys have no idea what it does for us. How and it's not even it's not the money. It's, we know that you guys are doing it because you care. Mm-hmm. And I hope that you guys can understand that we care about you, that's why we're doing this, is because we've become friends with you. Even, like I said, if we haven't met you, having you guys in the chat means the world to us. You know, even when you say, you know what, hey, I can't stay long, but I wanted to say hi. That is enough for me to, you know, continue on for, you know, another 5 hours of the stream. You know, mm-hmm. I've often said I'll do it if there's one person in the chat and we're having fun, I'm good.
Well, I'm grateful to all of you guys, and also like Donnie Land and you know, all the friends that we made. Yep. Jen's Crochet, because people like Robulan's Zomembies, which I'm trying to get right. Ramai told me, get it right. She read it to me a couple times the other day. You know, and Slim and people like that have come over and watched our content and have watched the Triple C interviews on Sunday nights and you know, the different things that we're doing, and it's a blessing. Christina Holmes is another one. Robula, just the fact that some of the people have trusted us to come over and check us out, that's been the blessing of meeting you guys. So it's been a cool thing.
Yeah, in fact, the other day when we rated you, Pete, I was on a stream and I was like, you know what, we're just hanging out in line, and I saw that you were live. I was like, hey, everybody, head over to Pete. I had one of my viewers was like, what's a raid? Yeah, and I was like, well, let me tell you, this is what we're going to do. And he enjoyed it. It was just like, I had never heard that. And
quick story. I'll tell you this, what I first did, because on my channel, I have a unique sense of humor. I try to have fun. I try to make people laugh. I will say things at times just for the point of making people laugh. I've always believed, my grandfather always used to say to me, if somebody has a smile on their face, they can't be fighting with it. So that's where I kind of looked at it. So the first time we did a raid, I had like 3 people go, what is a raid? I said, we're all going to take our clothes off, and then we're going to go over and watch them. We go in naked and we tell them we're naked. And I had like 2 people come back like, are we really doing that? Are you? So, you know, it is, you got to have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. We can get back on track now, I think.
Debbie Burnfield, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Says, I am so grateful to my new friends in Disneyland. I am so grateful Pete introduced me to you amazing friends. Love you all.
She may be watching. She may be watching you guys naked tonight. She's one of them. Good possibility.
I think that's a little TMI there. All right.
Well, I've watched some of your chaos streams, and so okay.
Nobody's watching. Nobody's watching naked. The whole point, people haven't figured that out. The whole point is that when I say something ridiculous, somebody who might be coming in the first time is going, wait a minute, what? What's going on here? And the minute they're intrigued, you got a chance to win them over. And that's kind of way I do stuff. I make fun of myself all the time. Like I would be sitting here and saying, "Hey Barry, let me give you a hand for a second." And something like, so you just, you got to have fun.
You got a great sense of humor. Thank you.
I try. I don't always win, but I try. Ask Molly. She'll tell you, I don't always win.
All right. Theme park action. Right. What else do we have on the docket here?
Well, we're going to keep the entertainment thread going, but this time we're going to talk about the unfortunate reality of what's happening at Disneyland right now, that they are starting to cut back on entertainment.
Wow.
And so far, I don't know if we've had many eliminations. I think the only one that is completely eliminated so far that I know of, or at least can think of, is the Doctor Strange show that happens. That one we know is going away.
Isn't there a whole area for him that they've built?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. They've got the whole portal sanctum sanctorum or something like that. And so, that's going away.
Okay.
And I think everybody was kind of like exactly like you were saying, Pete, that didn't they build that entire thing just for that show so that he could have this? Mm-hmm. So,
that's the end of the month too, right? It's quick, right? I think it's like the end of June.
June 30th is the last day for Doctor Strange Mysteries of the Mystic Arts.
What's interesting with that though is I know I was looking back at last summer, like there were so many things going on. Like I was like, wow, I did a lot last summer. Like there were just a lot of exciting things happening. But they would bring in characters from the new Marvel movies,
right?
And that's kind of slowed down a bit. So that kind of added to it. I know Thor shows up, so I'm so curious what they're going to do there because I love that area. Like it's beautiful, and I know it's the same show over and over again, pretty much. But it's always full. Like there's always everyone's sitting.
Well, we don't have that out here, right? We're not obviously on the East Coast because they don't own the rights. Right. Universal still owns the rights, and some of those characters some of the superheroes over at Universal look tattered like they're from the 1950s. The way I understand
that's true.
The contract's kind of written that the minute they start changing or updating, Disney has the rights to buy it back. So they're not changing or updating. So you guys are lucky to have that. I am shocked at that. Because every time that I see a live stream, you guys got like Spider-Man's hanging around, and you got. I'm looking up there, and you got all these different characters walking around. I'm thinking that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well,
go ahead, Barry.
I was gonna say Avengers Campus. It's cool. I've been to the one in Paris. I got to go to that one last year. To me, that one was a little bit better than the one we have over here. Although it's really weird over there. Pim's Test Kitchen. You need reservations to eat there. It's like what? Reservations either. This is like a takeout to go thing, and you don't need it over here. They've got a really cool roller coaster. Of course, they had Rock and Roller Coaster. Now it's Iron Man's. I forget what it's called, but so they definitely have some similar things. But I kind of like the one in Paris a little bit better. But what worries me here is all the shows that are going to be canceled, especially there in Avenger Campus and around DCA. It's like, are we going to do anything this summer? Now we do have a little video to show you from this is from our friends over at That Park Place, and they actually, our friend Vash Guy, who's been on this show as well. It's a little 40 second clip. I'm going to show you real quick. But and then after that we'll talk through it because I have a list of all the different shows that are going through June 29th, and then the ones that will be there on June 30th, and then what's happening after June 30th. And let me just tell you, it's pretty scary actually. So let's go ahead and show you that little clip from our dear friend Vash Guy. Give me 1 second. And I'm going to blow this up for you guys.
And just to kind of illustrate how much entertainment that we've lost over the last 10 years, I'm going to read you down the list here and have some corresponding images that go along with this. Minnie's Fly Girls, Billy Hill and the Hillbillies, Mickey and the Magical Map, Aladdin at the Hyperion, Frozen at the Hyperion, and Rogers the Musical at the Hyperion. The new show in Buena Vista Street, swing dancing in Disneyland, bands at the Tomorrowland Terrace, Paint the Night, Nighttime Parade, all of these things over the last 10 years have been cut from Disneyland Resort Entertainment already. To think that we might incur even more because of this union effort, it's very discouraging for a regular visitor to the resort to see. And just to kind of illustrate.
So he's basically talking about all the things that have been cut, over the past, several years. But in addition to that, here's what's being cut. So shows continuing through June 30th, and I'm going to bring this over here so I can look at the camera and talk. So Club Pixar will be there till June 30th. Doctor Strange Mysteries of the Mystic Art Show, Avengers Assemble, The Amazing Spider-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy's Awesome Dance-Off, Operation Playtime featuring the Green Army Men, Five and Dime, which is a personal favorite of mine, Citizens of Buena Vista Street, and the Paradise Garden Bandstand. However, as of June 30th, the only 4 shows that are going to remain are Doctor Strange Mysteries of the Mystic Art Show, Citizens of Buena Vista Street, Club Pixar, and the Paradise Garden Bandstand.
Those are the ones that remain or leave?
Those will be on June 30th. After June 30th, these are the only 2 things that are going to be left alive, starting July 1st through July 23rd, and that's Club Pixar and Citizens of Buena Vista Street.
Wow.
I mean, we just basically cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, there's 9 on that list, and they're eliminating 7 of them.
No more bands at Paradise?
No more bands.
I want to. I think we need to double check that because I believe like Five and Dime. I think they're going dark a few days. I think that's what that is.
Hold on, because that's not what I had looked up and read. But you guys keep talking amongst yourselves.
Yeah, no, because I just watched Fresh Baked today, and those were the updates. Like certain days, like they were.
Yeah,
that's what that's work week basically.
Yeah, because right now, how Disneyland does some of their bands, like when you see Five and Dime, if you see them on Tuesday, it's one set of musicians and Dime the singer, and if you go another day, it could be completely different people because they mix and match the entertainers, and they have multiple people that can play that instrument or play the role of Dime, so they can have it the entire week. So basically what it appears that they're doing is saying we're just going to have one set of Five and Dime.
Wow.
And because of that, they can only be there 5 days a week.
That's good.
So they'll be dark on maybe like Tuesday and Wednesdays. There won't be Five and Dime. The Dapper Dans actually do that. There's days where there are no Dapper Dans on Main Street, but that was usually in the like slower seasons. And then once summer hits, then they've got the full load of these are all the performers that can be a part of the Dapper Dans, and they slot them in, and it's like, okay, you're working Tuesday to Thursday, you're working Wednesday to Friday, you're working through the weekend. And so they were able to have the performers or the group 7 days a week performing. Well, that's how I'm taking it. The same thing is happening for the Wakanda show with the Warriors of Wakanda. That's going to be cut down to where it's I think maybe 4 or 5 days a week instead of
like Sunday. He said Sunday, Monday they'll be off, so it'll be Tuesday through Saturday for that particular one.
Man, when I get out there first of the year, you guys are going to be the entertainment. It sounds like.
Probably. Yeah, I can't find anything else on there, so I guess we'll go with that guy named Dave over at Fresh Baked.
That Dave guy.
Dave guy. But yeah, so I mean, but still, if you think about all those, ones that we mentioned, I mean, that is a lot. I mean, sure, Avengers Assemble wasn't amazing, but it was cool seeing them, do some little stunts and walk around. The Amazing Spider-Man, I mean, come on, that's the that's the animatronic Spider-Man that goes through the air and everything. That show's gone. That's kind of a bummer. Guardians of the Galaxy, Awesome Dance-Off. It was always a little fun one. But come on, the Green Army Men with the Operation Playtime, that was fun.
Yeah, I don't. if you look at it from an operation standpoint, and you kind of, you got to look at the economic situations in the world, obviously. But if you compare this summer to last summer with Phantasmic back, that takes a lot of people. There's a lot of performers in that, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So, and if they want to pull that off twice a night, 7 days a week, because that is a bigger draw than the Army Man, Warriors of Wakanda, Doctor Strange, you balance it out a little bit. But then you also have over in DCA, they've got the Better Together parade.
Right.
Again, lots of performers. And if as much as we hate it, Disneyland is a business.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And there's just certain things like that, it's a tough call.
Mm-hmm.
And not that I'm excusing it. I'm the first one to say, you know what, those, like you were saying, when you walk by and you see Spider-Man flying through the air, or you're walking along and there's the Green Army Men, beating the drums and everything. Those are magical moments. Those are the things that round out the day and make it feel like, you know what, I wasn't just at an amusement park. I was at some sort of a party. This was like a crazy thing. There were things flying in the air. There were, toys playing drums and all this stuff. I get it. But at the same time, there's just the economics of it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, so supposedly the reason why a lot of these shows have been canceled was based on guest feedback and operational considerations. I think it was more operational considerations, but also the other, rumor that's going around right now, and again, it's just rumor, but is Disney trying to scare pro-union cast members by canceling shows? Because they were very upset about the fact that, the cast members who were not a part of the shows, who were the costume cast members, they all, agreed to unionize with the Actors Equity Association, and that's 1,700 Disneyland Resort cast members. And so the rumor is Disney canceling these to scare them? That could possibly happen with more future shows at Disney. But regardless, it's just unfortunate because to me, it's not Disney who's losing out on this. It's the people who go there. It's us. And when you see that Knott's Berry Farm is doing summer nights, and they're doing Ghost Town Alive, and they're doing all these food things, and they're having a lot of fun and different things, it's like, well, maybe I just need to go over there. And this is a topic that we all talked about last year.
Right.
Is why is Knott so great at their entertainment and their summer stuff, and what's going on with Disney? Now, granted, we didn't have Phantasmic last year, like you mentioned. Now we have this, Pixar parade, but still, it's something that is really disappointing to see, because I really want to see more entertainment and fun and excitement there at Disneyland, whether it's DCA or the Disneyland Park. So,
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Cordy, your thoughts?
Well, I mean, when I heard it was just they were cutting back on, most of the shows, I was like, okay, right? Like, okay, I can, deal with that. But like I was saying earlier, looking back at last summer, and this was like during the day, like the entertainment, the things going on. Like I have footage of like Spider-Man taking kids and like running through Avengers Campus, and they're like, doing all these like, okay, jump over, not really jumping over things, but, just kind of having fun. That I've noticed so far, I have not seen a lot of that. Like, I'll catch, Loki in the evening, or you definitely could see like a decrease already in, the characters that I've seen out. But yeah, no, that's a huge part. Like just all the years, right? Growing up and going there, entertainment has always been such a huge part of, your trips to Disneyland. So I my hopes are that, they'll come back with something to maybe refresh it, and we will get something. So I don't want to, that's my hopes.
Yeah. And Pete, your thoughts as an outsider, does this, like when you're planning a trip, does this kind of put a damper on it? Does it make a difference?
I think that's more it's going to more affect those of you that are out there on a regular basis, because you're so used to seeing it. For somebody who's coming there for the first time or maybe even the second time, they might not even realize what they're missing if some of that's gone. Yeah, there's a core group of people that'll read the news and stay up with it and be disappointed. Anytime you lose something from Disney, people have a fit about it, And, the optimistic hope is that 6 months from now, we're talking about stuff that they brought back in to refresh and bring up everything more than what we've lost. But it is definitely disappointing to hear that, not only for us as fans, but for those cast members that use that as their lifestyle and, bring us the magic. Disney's not Disney without the cast members.
Definitely.
On all levels, from the guy who's, cleaning up trash to the person who's playing Mickey Mouse on Fantasmic, and all in between. So you don't wish that on anybody. It's disappointing. But like to Danny's point, it's business. We don't know the ins and outs of the nuances. Yeah, they could be playing a chess game when it comes to the unions and what they're trying to think and do and everything. That's a lot to it, and you guys have got keep your eyes open and see where this thing goes, because I don't think we've figured out where it's going yet from what all you said.
Yeah. Hopefully it's just a temporary type of thing, like some of you guys were saying. But yeah, it's one of those things, like you were saying, Bob. We were commenting so much last year of how Knott's had so much to do, after dark, and Disneyland basically had fireworks and World of Color. I think that
World
was
of Color
it.
One. That was it.
It was like there were no bands. There was nothing going on as far as entertainment because Fantasmic went down. And it kind of feels like, okay, now we got Fantasmic back, but we're losing so many other little things.
Yep. I think, two things you got to remember. One, everybody's always going to try to take Disney's people. Down in Florida right now, when you had the whole changeover there with the disability and those who could get it and those who not, and that we're going through all that right now. Universal's over there saying, hey, they're putting out public things. Hey, we haven't changed our disability. Those have come on over. Anybody's welcome here. We're not going to give you a hard time. So I think they're always out there trying to take a little bit of Disney's pie. But I always remind people on my shows when we have these topics where they're tough topics because nobody wants to lose anything, I always remind everybody of 2020 when you had nothing. For you guys, you went down there to the stores and both parks were closed and nobody could get in. And when you first came back, you were so ecstatic to see Mickey. It was almost like the first time in your life when you went there. And I kind of tell people, think about that, find the happiness, roll with the punches. Because guess what? The four of us here, as much as we'd like to, there's nothing we can do to change it, And all of you that are watching, there's nothing we can do. We can talk about it. We can, sit there and speculate and we can do it. But all we can do is react to what we got and try to find the happiness in all of it. And while it's disappointing and frustrating, you know what? You guys have got Fantasmic to focus on, and you got the other things that are there. And you got a new park coming for Avatar, I believe, tied in that with that expansion out there, which even if you don't like Avatar, I can tell you, I'm not a huge Avatar fan of the movie. Going over to that part of the park in Animal Kingdom, the visuals, the colors are just ridiculous. And Flight of Passage is probably one of the best I'd say it's in the top 10 rides in all of Disney. And for some people, it's up to 1, 2, or 3. It's that good. So you guys will have that coming, and hopefully it'll stay positive all the way through.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Sylvie Bear was commenting. She actually works for Disney.
Okay.
So for the travel and that side of it. So she, has seen all this. Like there's the ticket deals, right? We've got another round of ticket deals for Disneyland. And she mentioned there too that they're selling out. She said a lot of people are going here to Disneyland versus Walt Disney World because of the summer deals. So, so it's interesting, right? Everything that we're seeing. But you brought up a good point, Pete, because it is like we see this, day in and day out, right? We go many times a week. So it's like you hit it head on, like the people that are coming out once a year, once every 5 years, whatever it may be. Yeah, they might not notice, right? They're running around trying to do everything in that short amount of time. And it is us that, probably notice it more.
If the mansion's closed, people are losing their mind. But if Spider-Man's not there, they might be able to get by.
True.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can find something really quick here. A friend of mine, you guys know him, Paul M. Newitt, sent me some.
He's a big supporter of your community. I see Paul.
Man, we love Paul.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good dude.
He sent me some stuff, and I've got some Disneyland Today brochures.
Oh man, those
from
are my favorite.
1987.
Cool.
This one's from 1992. And to see the tremendous amount of entertainment that was happening
Right
on those days. I mean, it is insane.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes you go, what was different then? You know what I mean? I'm trying to think of what was the difference.
Focus of the top of the company. The focus of the top of the company the last couple of years has been how many dollars can we put in the bank? That's why so much is changed now to make it so that, for in Florida at least, you have to buy those stupid passes to get your rides, and all that, and spend the money, $25 on this ride, $35 on this ride, all that stupid stuff. It's so much about that, and that's a challenge. That's a frustrating challenge, Back then, you didn't handle that.
Yeah, I think you brought up a really good point, though, because with that also comes, right? Okay, we're trying to make money, but we're also going to cut things. We're going to change things. We're going to do things differently. And we're going to be talking about that in a moment here, especially when it comes to Community Core Hall, right?
Right.
I mean, there's some things that's like, okay, what are we going to do here? What are we going to do here? And it just seems like Universal, and I'm not trying to praise Universal or anything like that, but I feel like they've been really listening to their community, and they are coming out with this epic park called Epic Universe, and it's going to be amazing because look at all the things that they have that they're planning for this park. Now, granted, they're bringing a whole new park from scratch, right? But one of the biggest things that I think people going to the parks, especially me, is I'm so sick of screen rides. I want something different, something new, something fresh. And it feels like they're trying to do that. I miss the days of Disney coming out with rides like Big Thunder Mountain and Matterhorn. That wasn't an IP that was fun and different and imaginative. And we're not getting that. And I'm okay with IPs. IPs are great. You can do some really good, rides with IPs, but I just feel like they've lost some of that sparkle, that magic, that shine that they used to have when building the parks. And I want to see them come back to that. But it seems like they're so focused on other things, they're kind of losing that magic. Now, I'm not going to say it's not magical. It is. It's just they've lost a little bit of that sparkle. And I want to see them bring that back so that we can, have some of the stuff that we used to have. Because right now, Universal is taking everything they can by the horn of the bull, and they're running with it to see what they can do. And they've got some pretty amazing things that are going to be coming out, not just here, but in Europe, all over the place. Las Vegas, the HHN. Yep. I mean, they're trying to do everything they can to take a hold of this, share market of the entertainment. And I don't feel like Disney's really trying to do anything about it anymore. I think they're just kind of going with the flow.
I think D23 this year could be the change back to what it was before with some seriously big announcements. I'm actually expecting them to give you more about your Avatar land, more about your your Splash Mountain change, timing on it, when it'll be ready, and things. I'm seeing a lot more of that for that coming. And then Florida, I think, is going to get a 5th park. Yeah. And I really think that's happening for this coming D23, which is 2 months away, roughly? Yeah, about that.
Yeah, it's coming up in August, the D23.
Yep. So.
Yeah, and you're going to that, right, Bob?
I am going to that. So for one day, my daughter and I are going to go on a Saturday. So
you told me you were taking me. Now you have to.
Well, you got to come out here, Pete.
I got to get to the park.
You should have done your meet and greet over here in California.
Well, I've already had a couple people ask me that when we come out there, would we do something? And we're going to try, because there's some people that we know on the West Coast and out in that area that would like to do it, that want to come say hello. So I'm actually doing a meet and greet in Chicago in a couple weeks on the first week of July, because I'm going to a Cubs game and I had a bunch of people out there that wanted to say hello. So who knows? As long as you get to say hello to people and I get to see the parks, I'll be happy. But D23, dude, that's awesome, man. I can't wait to hear from you and see what content you put out and everything, because that's fantastic.
Yeah, actually, it's my first time going to D23, so I'm excited to go, and
Awesome.
I think it's gonna be fun. Taking my daughter, and she's excited. And we're not going to go to the actual announcements at the Honda Center. I just decided to forego that. It was a nightmare just trying to buy tickets just to that one day, so I left it at that. So, but I think you're right. I think we're going to hear a lot of stuff. The only concern I have, and this has been a trend over the last several years, and we can see it with Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and that is, they tell us all these great things are going to happen at D23, and then it's like, oh, well, yeah, now we're going to be doing this, and it's going to be different. And obviously things change, but the problem is Disney always talks about stuff they're going to do, and you're like, yes, and then it's like, oh, that's not really what happened, or that's a lot different from what they said originally. So they just need to come out and make sure that they, whatever they tell us is going to happen.
I at least got close to D23 the last time. Mark Daniel, who's part of Disney and been involved with a lot through the years, works in Florida, and he was out hosting, I think it was like the Offset show with Ashley Eckstein. And I was sitting there watching everything on the thing, and I'm friends with Mark, and I sent him a text about, hey dude, that was really good. Some segment that he did. It was a video segment they had filmed, and he was on stage with Ashley Eckstein and a couple other Star Wars people at the time, getting ready to do a Star Wars segment. And next thing I know, I'm sitting here and I'm having this full-fledged conversation with them during D23 while they're live. I'm like, okay, this is as close as I'm going to get to D23, so I'll take it. But that's awesome, man. It's the magic that can come there. I know it's chaotic, but to spend that with you and your daughter and to create that memory, that's something you can't replace. Yeah,
I agree.
That's awesome. Happy for you.
Thank you.
All right, so continuing on this little theme that we've got going on, Epcot has been under construction for basically 6 years or something like that, 5-6 years.
Walcott.
It got that it got that nickname for very good reason. They basically took the entire center of the park and demolished nearly the entirety of it and redid everything. And we finally have the walls down around that. And we've ended up with the Moana, or the Journey of Water inspired by Moana, I think is the official title.
It is.
And then we have Communicore. Is it
Communicore Center?
Communicore Hall.
And the Meet Mickey area.
It's inside Communicore with Mickey. It's Mickey and friends. It's Goofy and Donald, Daisy, all of them.
Yep.
And Communicore Hall is more or less turned into a giant musical venue for several different things along the way. Right now it's Encanto. They're apparently going to change it from time to time, but they're playing a show there multiple times throughout the day. And, you can go in there and get a quick little bit of air conditioning and all that. And it's nice. It looks, the outside of the building's got the whole look of the Epcot Spaceship Earth, which is really, there it is right there. You can see that there. Now the lighting at night is spectacular. I showed that on Friday night, on our last Friday night news and merch show. And the lighting outside at night is just through the roof, incredible. They did a great job with that.
Yeah. The lights do look cool. I guess I expected a little more from this. I mean, one of the things that is interesting, and you're going to see it here in a moment as they walk into Communicore Hall, is the kind of sit down area. In fact, I'm just going to fast forward here. Let me. Oops. So this is what it looks like inside that area. And are there two different halls? Because I've seen
two different buildings.
There's two different buildings. The other building doesn't have all the signs and doesn't have the refreshments. It's kind of just a hall that you go and sit in. Basically, imagine this right here, and that's it, where people are sitting down. It looks a little boring, but hey, it's air conditioning.
The
That's
media
for sure.
day. What is this, a media day?
Yeah, this is the media day. This
That's
is
what
the
I
day
thought.
that they were.
I've seen like 6 different people. I'm like, wait a minute. So
Yeah. And this is coming from our friends. Excuse me. Over at WDW News Today. Yeah. So, and then this is. Let me go back out again. So you have this area. Then you go outside, and this is where they have the stage for Encanto, and I'm going to show you the Encanto show so you can get an idea of what this show is like.
and those pillars right there that you're seeing, that's where you get the light show at night when everything shuts down. That's where they run all these crazy lights off of.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. The pillars there, but you have this little stage show. And then I'm going to fast forward it. So this is the Mickey and Friends meet and greet.
Look at the graphic there. That's cool.
Now the graphics are cool, but the one complaint I'm hearing from a lot of people is that why are they showing stuff from the past? Why are they showing things that we loved and remembered instead of something that's there right now?
Right.
Like the fountain. I think they're going to show it here. I think around the corner. I'm not sure.
Around the corner, I think it is.
Give us 1 second there. Oh yeah, there you got the fountain there. It's no longer there.
Yeah, it's like a walk through history to get to the characters, and then they're all right together in a group there.
Right. This is kind of cool because you go from one to the next and I think that's pretty cool that you're able to do that.
Yeah.
So to me, I think that's really, really cool.
Now, see, here's a designer. If you're going to do that, where you have the history and it's like this traveling thing, why not put some of the things that are currently there? The newer things.
Well, yeah, that's why.
Do they have those? Do they have Mission Space? Do they have, the versions of Test Track, which we'll get to that in a second here? Do they have Guardians of the Galaxy up on there? I don't know for sure. They may have it.
A lot of it's just retro Disney, with the upscated colors. They went with the bright colors to try to make it uplifting. It's been good and bad with this because some of the lines for some of it were kind of tight, but they're trying to push you along and keep you moving.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, the meet and greet's not bad. I wish they were showing some of the more modern things they have, or current things. Let me go ahead and stop sharing that.
Yeah, like I said, as a designer, you just kind of wonder, because then it does give the impression that it's a history lesson rather than a walk through everything that Epcot has been and is. You know what I mean? At that point, then you could kind of, stop the, why are they showing us the old stuff? No, they're showing you everything. You know what I mean?
Right.
You kind of, but again, this is where I start getting kind of irritated with Imagineering, because it's like, I shouldn't be able to come up with that idea without them coming up with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not as good as them.
Well,
I'm seeing the issues.
Danny, as I remind everybody, Communicore Hall was really under the tutelage of Chapek, and we know what we were getting with Chapek. So I'm hoping going forward, now that we have the old regime trying to create an updated new regime, that hopefully that'll get better.
Yeah. Let's hope.
So obviously they've got the Encanto, show there, and you can kind of see what it's like and see how kind of sparse it is. Yeah, that's how it is. So we're going to see that in a moment. But they do have the Mickey and Friends that we just showed you. They got the, unwind and relaxing indoor space, which we showed you as well. They're going to have seasonal experiences throughout the year. And of course, at the plaza, you have the seasonal live entertainment. They have the daytime and nighttime entertainment that varies throughout the year. Sounds like seasonal. For limited time, you can join other guests for a fun-filled fiesta, which is the celebration in Encanto. And then you can savor taste sensations from the festival favorites, which has menu changes throughout the year as well. So I wanted to show you guys the Encanto show. And I'm not going to show the whole thing because obviously we'll probably get some copyright on the music here, but I'll just kind of show you like
you
the
will.
first part of it, and then maybe towards the end. So let's look at this real quick. And this is coming from Thrill Geek on X. Let me break this out. Oops.
I actually have that. My producer down in Florida filmed it in 8K.
Oh,
Yes.
nice.
So I will actually have that full show in entirety probably by Saturday.
Nice. Well, this is the full, well, not the full show. This is just one section, but this is the cast members kind of lip syncing to the Encanto music video above. So here we go.
Yeah. Drawers. Floors. Doors. Let's go. This is our home. We've got every generation. So full of music, a rhythm of its own design. This is my family, a perfect constellation. So many stars and everybody gets to shine. Whoa. Let's be clear up when I run this show. Whoa. She let us here so many years ago. Whoa. And every year our family blessings grow. There's just a lot you simply got to know.
So I'm going to fast forward to the end here.
Madrigal. Two guys fell in love with family Madrigal. And now they're part of the family Madrigal. Silvio was married, but my dad married Julieta. That's how Abuela became an Abuela Madrigal. Let's go, let's go.
Okay, I don't know about you guys, but I'm a little underwhelmed with that show. Now, granted, it's not like some huge stage production, but I thought that there'd be a little. Now, this is just one section of it, right? It's not the whole entire show, but just from looking at that one section, I was kind of like, really?
Yeah,
That's it.
I love our cast members, but we could do better than that.
Yeah, exactly. Right, and that's my feeling is that when it comes to Disney and shows and everything else, they're just kind of getting through it and just kind of putting stuff out there. I mean, it's cool. My kid would love it, and she would, I'm sure enjoy seeing, this show. But to me, as a parent, I'm kind of like, I just paid how much to get into this park to watch this? Oh, okay.
And it's one thing when they do something like at DCA, they used to have the Disney Junior, dance party thing or whatever, where you get to see. Those were meant and aimed at the younger set, which is fine. You need stuff like that for the little ones. But as everybody is commenting, as a parent, you're not going to necessarily get into the dancing part of it. The little ones are the ones that are going to get into dancing. So as a parent, you're standing there for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And in Florida, they didn't put any of that area where the parents are going to be standing in shade.
No.
That is like the biggest complaint. It's like, it's fine that, the little stage show, it's obvious the stage is meant to be able to be stripped down, set up for Coca-Cola's party, brought back down, next day set up back up for Encanto. We get it. We understand that's really what this is about. But the fact that they didn't provide any shade in the Florida heat is different than normal heat. It's like the Florida heat has extra weight to it because of the humidity.
Yes, it does.
And it is oppressive. And that's why you if you'll see other pictures of Communicore Hall, it gets packed because people just need a place to get out of the heat. And so it's really crazy that they would design this, and know that people are going to have to stand there. There's not even seating.
Right.
You have to stand to watch this little show as your, kids are, dancing around and probably getting exhausted themselves by the end of it. But it's like, these are the kind of, as a designer, I say, you look at this stuff and you go, why aren't these incredible engineers, Imagineers, these designers who are supposed to be watching for the tiniest little details missing on these big things that the general public just says, that was kind of obvious. Why didn't you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Good point.
That's the part where I'm kind of wondering what's going on. It's one thing to say, okay, well, they didn't give us budget to do shade. It's like, well, then figure something else out. You have to, or at that point, throw management under the bus. I want to hear somebody come out and say there was no budget. They told us no shade. Everybody write to Disney and let them know. I would like to hear that. I would like to have somebody just say, you know what, I'm going to be the whistleblower basically, and say they didn't give us any budget. They told us don't bother with the shade. We don't care.
Right.
Because that's really what it is at this point, it seems. You know, the I don't even remember what we were talking about, but it was like there's certain things. Oh, the mural. That's a design decision. You could have designed that mural for the same cost and had it be something that plays to the current and the past. That one's
Right.
designer. That one I won't let the Imagineers off the hook on that one due to budget. But you know, the shade, yeah, you can throw the shade at the management at that one. But you know, there's certain decisions where I'm kind of like, I don't know what's going on here. It does not seem like we have the best people in all of the correct positions right now at Disney, and that's concerning.
Hope they correct it.
Yeah, it needs to be corrected, but you know, until we start seeing something that makes you say, okay, we've got, and that's the thing. It's like I keep saying there are glimpses of greatness still. You know, just a couple years ago they introduced, and I'm going to harp on this, and I know you guys, Cordy's probably going to laugh at me, Villains Grove.
Are you still talking about that?
I am still talking about that because it was so impressive. And that's what Disney used to be. It used to be the kind of thing where it's like as soon as you got off Indiana Jones Adventure, you were just like going and telling your friends, you've got to get to Disneyland. I know you don't, it's not your thing, but you've got to go see this new ride. It is something that is going to blow your mind. That's how it used to be with Disney. When I saw Fantasmic, I decided, you know what? I'm done working at Target. I'm going to school. I'm going to do that. That's how impressive it used to be.
Right.
And now I think Villains Grove is probably the only thing in the last several years that has had me saying, you know what, you guys got to go check this out. And you guys know how I was a hater on the after hours things. I never went to Oogie Boogie. And the only reason I went last year was because somebody had a free ticket and gave it to me. But I'm telling you, Villains Grove was so good. I'm probably going to buy a ticket this year.
I think the whole key we just have to keep going back to is, as you know, purveyors of the magic, and that's what we are. We're the accompaniment to what the actual show is. The actual show is the parks, the movies, what we all have, and we in social media have a responsibility of speaking our mind, which I love the fact that you are, and that's a good thing. We always should be doing that. But I always go back to the point of reminding people, you know, you can think about when we didn't have anything. And man, I'm just glad that we've got parks open, that they are working to try to get more open. You're facing a little more challenges in California with this union thing than the other parks are around the world. And I'm just hoping that at this D23, it goes back to what it used to be before. Not like the D23 we had recently, because we didn't get a lot out of that one, because it was a lot of blue sky, because they didn't know when and where.
Right.
I don't want a lot of blue sky this time. I want a lot of show me the colors, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. I mean, with Disneyland Forward, you know, getting approved from the city council out here, if they don't announce some big stuff and then actually have some shovels in the ground and start showing some real movement, you know, within the next year, I don't know. It's going to be real tough to be a cheerleader for them for much longer if that's the way they're going. So I'm really hoping the D23 is, you know, the corner that we get to turn.
It'd be great.
And start seeing things that come back to the Disneyland that we all fell in love with, really, because that's really what it is for me. It's I don't want to necessarily be stuck in the past with that Disney, because I love, you know, like I said, some of the new stuff, they can still blow our socks off. And that's what I want. I just want to be able to look at things and know that it's at a moment you have no idea how good that thing is. I'm telling you, it is that good. It is an experience that you will just literally, and I don't know, like I said, I'm an emotional guy, you know, so it's like I can easily throw myself into those things. But yeah, anyways, I don't want to get on that again. I'm sorry. but yeah, it's really the kind of thing where, you know, you want Disney to just blow our socks off. That's really what we want.
Well, you know, Geofire commented, it's something like you think about when you're there in the parks, you know, like we've talked about, we see these over, you know, shows over and over again. But he brought up, you know, for every person who thinks something is underwhelming, there is someone saying, wow, that's awesome.
True.
And
Right.
we see that, like, and that's what is the reminder when you're out there with the other guests and you're watching the fireworks for the 25th time and somebody's watching it for the first time, right? And they're just,
So true.
wow.
So
You
true.
know, that brings it back, right? That you're like, okay, yes, this is wow. I
Yeah.
love that.
There's hundreds of millions. I said this actually one time to a massive YouTube creator in the park. I looked right at him and said, you know, there's, in the big picture of this whole Disney thing, you're small potatoes. This person had 750,000 followers. I said, the big picture of Disney, you're small potatoes. And he looked at me and he said, what? I said, small potatoes. I said, there's hundreds of millions of people that love Disney in the world. Why couldn't you be a 2 million channel? Why couldn't everybody? There's so many people out there. And that goes to your point, Cordy, that there's so many new people coming in all the time that don't know what's going on at the park, that are seeing it for the first time, that are going to find your channel or Danny's channel or Bob's channel, and for the first time and say, wow, this is incredible. You know, so it's, while it's tough for all of us who are engaged and see it and talk all the time, you know, and know the nuances and the ins and outs, that, you know, when you go to a park, where you can go for this or where you can go for that, or how you can sneak around through a certain area to get to another area where the everyday person doesn't. It's very tough for us. We have to try to find a way to keep that median, because it's easy to get beat down wanting newer, fresher things. Like Danny was said, I got it. You know, it's kind of trying to find that middle of the pack. It's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just want to push for the best, and that's really, you know, like you were saying, you know, somebody coming for the first time, I want them to have an absolutely perfect experience at Disneyland. I want it to be just like, was it Eric Severite that said, you know, that your cares couldn't make it through the gate when you go to Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's how I want it to be, and I hope that that's really what's happening, and I just get nervous that it's not. That's my thing. So, you know, and I, like I said, we see it all the time, and we're there all the time, and we, you know, can, you know, look and say, you know, oh, look at that, they're missing one of the Small World hula dancers again. Not everybody's going to notice. It doesn't, you know, whether there's 5 or 4 or 3. You just want the little shaking
I'm looking
doll,
for that on my first trip. I'm counting hula dancers. I'm coming back.
So like I said, I just hope that the families that are going are leaving with that same crazy amount of love that I had when I would go.
I think they are. I think
that's my hope.
Danny, returning guests, that the numbers that Disney is seeing on all fronts, not just here, on also their international parks all the way through, tells me that, yeah, people are coming back and returning more. The number of people buying the annual passes is up. I mean, heck, you guys have had to turn your faucet off a couple times already because they had too many on there. So I do believe it's there. I do believe that everything Disney's doing is putting in the right track. I think the only thing that's hurting them in the big picture is, for a while there, while Mr. Chapek was in charge, they were pricing themselves out of the market, you know, because it was getting to a point where it was, you know, astronomically expensive, and that's their only challenge. But it's good.
But I think it started before him. I know he gets a lot of flack, but I also look at it as Bob Iger was in charge before he took over. And there's a lot of things he put in place, like Disney Plus, et cetera, that he was trying to set up for success that never really launched or took off. And so the prices, I mean, when Bob Iger came in, he said, hey, I want every department to be 20% more every single year. And so theme parks tickets have been going sky high for many, many years before Bob Chapek as well. But it's crazy because, I think they kind of have finally hit a plateau because for a while there, they weren't selling tickets or they were selling tickets and it didn't seem like people were really buying them, the annual passes, the Magic Keys. I'm saying tickets and annual passes. And then you got the fact that now they've shut off the sales of the Magic Keys. And it kind of makes me wonder, are they planning on increasing prices again, which I'm sure they are. And are they trying to build up a bunch of pent up demand for those Magic Keys so that when they sell them again, oh, by the way, we've raised the prices, but you want that Magic Key, don't you? And I have a feeling that's what's going to happen next. So
we'll see.
Oh, Tina says we need hula dancing emojis. I like that.
Tina Marie,
love it. Yes.
Hold on, one second.
So cool.
Molly, please take care of Tina. Do something with her.
That's funny. Oh, too funny.
All right. Well, that covers all of our topics that we wanted to talk about. So we usually take a few minutes and open it up to the chat. If you guys have any questions you'd like to ask us, our guest Pete has a wealth of knowledge, obviously. So feel free to throw a question in the chat, and we will try to get through as many as we can.
And while they're doing that, go ahead.
I was going to say, I do have a question that Devin asked earlier.
Okay.
He wanted to know, Pete, what your favorite Disney snack or treat is.
So I am a foodie. I love going down and doing that. If I had a choice, I could only have two things there. I would say my favorite snack would be cheeseburger egg rolls, without a doubt. Absolutely ridiculous. The sauce with them is crazy over at Magic. And if I had to go for a dessert, you know what? I have to go traditional. I'm going to say, give me a Mickey ice cream bar. You can always open one of them up while you're watching a parade, and it's always fabulous. And it takes you back to the first time that maybe, for me, the first time that I had one when I was younger in the park, because it was one of the first treats I had. I mean, everybody's going to line up everything that they've got, but those would be two of mine for sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now being a foodie, I do my parks around my food and try to make sure I'm doing certain things. Last time we were there at Epcot, we literally did not go to a restaurant at all. We went to hit every different booth that had different stuff, and you know what? That's pretty special when you can do that. I love doing that.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, we're waiting for some more questions to come in. I just want to go through. We've got a bunch of people we need to thank again. So Michelle had given a super sticker for $4.99. I think that was casual. We got Slim Devin Adventure says you can comment on super chats now. Cool. And that was $2. Slim Devin also said, that was the question for Pete. And thank you for the $5 there. Let's see what else we have. We have Slim Devin Adventure gifted a theme park casual membership, and then he also gifted another theme park casual membership, and then he gifted a Berry Place 28 membership, as well as another one. Oh no, that's it. We also have Crispy, who became a sponsor. I'm holding that question.
I want to buy Slim a beer or a beverage.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, if I see you in Epcot, Grand Marnier slushes are on me, Devin.
Wow.
Yeah. See.
Wow. You notice he didn't say that for us, it's just for you, Slim.
He's been in here. This is what I love about what we do. Devin has been in here supporting you guys all night, blessing your channel. That's what we call it on my channel. When someone chooses to do that, they're blessing your channel because they're saying thank you and appreciating what you do. And that is selflessness. And I see Devin in all of your streams all of the time. And I people like that are people that we want in this community. We want people like, not because of the money, because of the selflessness of character that makes this community better. And that's what it's about. And
are we talking about the same Slim? We want.
And to Molly's answer, I will ride the monorail all the time. I will not go to the Skyline. I'm just answering that. So,
all right.
She threw that in there. I don't feel like that.
Real quick, Zomembi's 11 months. You've been a member. Oh, and 7 months for different channels, obviously. Holly became a sponsor, so thank you, Holly. Let's see. Oops. Michelle also gave a $1.99 super sticker, so thank you, Michelle.
Awesome.
Cordy gifted 5 Cordy in California memberships, so congrats to all of her new members. Let's see. Theme Park Casual gifted 1. Oh, Theme Park Casual. Wow. To 1 Berry Place membership. Thank you. I appreciate that. And he also gifted 1 to Cordy. CL became a sponsor. Berry Place 28 gifted 5 of his memberships. Wow, what a nice guy. And we have a bunch of people, trades for free. Debbie, Monterey. Oh, Mookie Smokey. Oh, did I say that right?
I hope
Moki Schmoky.
Oopsie. Callie Marie. Let's see. Matt became a sponsor. Wow. We got Cordy who gifted. Oh, thank you, Cordy, for getting. Wow, I didn't see. Now I feel bad because I haven't gifted to you guys. And she gifted to Theme Park Casual. All right.
Yeah, we had a gift membership train going on over here. It was like everybody
going on.
Good thing. You guys also just had a class act subscribe to your channels, and Jeff Condon put a note in the chat that he just subscribed also. That's
awesome.
That's a class act from out on the East Coast.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff. We really appreciate it. All right. What questions do we have in the chat?
Chat. Come on, chat. Don't make me call somebody and ask somebody a question. I will.
We know you will.
Thank you to Michelle. I was just reading her comment that you were.
Oh,
holding.
Sorry.
But that's okay.
Let me go back to it. So she said, Cordy, California, recent cover of Phantasmic. It was so amazing. New sub here, and love you that you hold your own against the men. Hey, what are you trying to say? I'm kidding.
Hold her own. She's the one who won the big race. She like smoked everybody. Give me a break.
Alan's asking about phone a friend. Alan, on over on my channel, when I do our Friday night Disney news and merch, in between sending all of my people watching me over to these great people and the other friends in California, I will out of nowhere just call people and do it, or I open up phone lines and let people call into the show live. So yeah, we do that.
So one thing that Michelle did say, FYI on the Tokyo Disney note, if anyone's able to make it over there now, adult tickets are only $50 US, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm not going until next year. So let's see. Oh, and then we had David say, I love Disney now, thanks to the streamers that are in California. Thank you for that, guys. So thank you, David, for the compliment. Appreciate it. And then Sylvie Bear said, I tell guests all the time about the streamers as informative and entertaining. So thank you. I appreciate that. We all do. Sylvie Bear. All right.
And we do have a quick question from Theme Parks and More. It says, what is your favorite ride at Disney?
For me?
For Barry, Pete, and Cordy.
Well, ladies
I
first.
think he probably already knows what mine is.
Ladies first, please.
Oh gosh. At Disneyland is Big Thunder Mountain.
Ooh,
and then Guardians at DCA.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Bob, go ahead.
Space Mountain at Disneyland is my favorite roller coaster over there. Although Rise of the Distance is my favorite attraction there. And then I would have to say, DCA, geez. Probably sticking with, that's a tough one. Incredicoaster, maybe? Sticking with the coasters.
Very cool. For me, for the 4 down here, I would say Animal Kingdom. It's Everest roller coaster. That's got to be the coaster. I can't get on. I can't get on the Amazon ride anymore. So, as I say, I call it the Amazon Avatar. I can't get on that anymore because of my legs. It doesn't fit the vehicle, which stinks. Over at Epcot, Guardians. Over at Magic, Big Thunder. Big Thunder is my number 1 overall everything. And Hollywood Studios, Slinky Dog over. I love Star Wars. I'm a Star Wars nut. I just love me some of that stupid little Slinky Dog roller coaster. I can't get enough of it. I want a quick story. I had my phone as my time to support the military. I had my phone synced with my son, and he could see GPS to a point exactly where I was in the world. at all times. It's just what I did because I traveled a lot. And I was down at Disney, and he knew I was down in there because I had a thing down at one of the bases up in Tampa, and I went to the parks, and I rode Slinky three times. I was with another soldier who had a disability pass, and he says, "Hey, let's go on Slinky." We got off. There was hardly any people there. Let's go again. And we went in for the disability thing, and they said, "Oh, just go right through." And then we were like, got off. I was like, "Want to do it one more time? Let's get in line again." We knew it would take about an hour. The cast member goes, "No, go right through right now." So we rode Slinky Dog 15 minutes. I rode it 3 times because there was no lines. There was nobody there. It was a rainy day. And
Nice.
literally I got a text from my son. He was like 8 and a half. It said, all it said was, "Dad, comma, are you kidding me?" Question mark. That's all I got. So it was one of the greatest texts I ever got.
And theme park
Nice.
casual, what are your favorite rides?
At Disneyland, it would be Indiana Jones Adventure. And at DCA, it's Radiator Springs Racers.
Nice. I want to do that so bad.
Oh, can
And
I
then
change mine to that?
Disney World, Tower of Terror is probably the ultimate for me.
Oh, well, see,
That one
now
is absolute
awesome.
perfection. It's one of the most perfect attractions out there.
Oh man!
Love
See,
it.
now you guys are talking about other Disney parks. I'm throwing Paris in there because my favorite attraction in Paris is Phantom Manor.
So Phantom Manor, one of my executive producers for France that I have is Nick of Nick and Claire. And he called me up. He's given me, I've got every video over there on my channel, but he called me up with Phantom Manor and he says, "Hey, look, I got this Phantom Manor one. It didn't turn out that good, but if you want to put it up so you can get it on your channel, at least until I can do a better one, go ahead." So he gave it to me. It exploded. It's got 154,000 views on it. And he called me up and he's like, "This is ridiculous. I want it back." But yeah, that's a great one. You want? Oh, that's Bob. That's a great call. Great call.
Yeah, it's a really good ride. To me, it's what all of the Haunted Mansions should be, and all the different places. I know that they all have their own take. This one's in Frontierland in Paris, but the fact that they explain why the bride is killing all of her husbands, and the fact that when you go outside of the attic and you fall into the cemetery, you don't just go into the cemetery, you go below the cemetery to see all the skull and bones and caskets and ghosts and dead people, and it's just it's so cool.
We call that Baltimore, but that's okay.
That's hilarious. I love that. Too funny.
All right. Do we have anything else? Do you see any other?
I think Lynn just said, comment for Pete. Just a few.
Oh yes, Phantom Manor is Haunted Mansion, Alan.
I think, where's hers?
So Buddy says he also loves the dragon underneath the castle. I know that is something they should have at all Disney parks. That is amazing.
And how great is it that we I don't know if any of you saw it, but we interviewed Terry Harden on my channel, who she created that dragon. She is the Imagineer that did that. Which was
let me tell you, you have some amazing guests on there, and they blow me away. In fact, when I look at your calendar and I see that you scheduled out through the end of this year, I'm like, geez. First of all, how'd you get all these people? Actually, I should know because I have to send some people your way.
I try to pick up the phone and call all the 3 shows that we're doing are 3 different shows, but they're fantastic in what they're bringing. So you're right, Jeff. Wallet in front. What did Stacy ask me? Something about a moderator. I saw there was something, but I missed it. I don't know what Stacy. Stacy scares me when she asks questions.
Oh, yeah. Have you ever timed out one of your mods just because you could?
Yeah. Yes, I have, and I will do it again.
Too funny.
Yeah. And then Lynn she just commented to you, Pete, that she loves your positivity from your followers. And she's been in chats when the members have rated our channels, so it's always so much fun. She said,
"Thank you very much. We try to create a power of positivity and energy, and just happiness, and try to spread that as much as we can. It's there's too much negativity in the world, And, when you come into a, Disney thing, you guys do a great job. One of the reasons that I started looking at all of your channels was the fact of you're telling a story while you're there. You're painting a picture of what is going on in the park. You're creating inclusion with your chat and engaging them and making them feel like they're right there with you, buying that popcorn bucket and walking around the park. You're taking the time to show your love and your passion for what this Disney thing is and open yourself up. And it's not an easy thing to do, to put yourself out there publicly in front of tens to hundreds of thousands or more at times of people. And it's a beautiful thing when you do it well. And you all of you guys and Johnny Land, and I've been watching some of Neuro Disney stuff that he's trying to work, and many others, like Shrimp, that it's a great thing. It's a great thing.
Yes.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it. All right.
We
I don't
got
see any other
one-
questions. Do you?
We got one from Daryl Chin. It says, question, did you all hear about the Disneyland Haunted Mansion bride? Imagineers might be replacing her with an animatronic. I have not heard that yet, but I haven't been keeping up on what's going on with Haunted Mansion other than trying to spot the construction.
That was also on Fresh Baked.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it had come up, and I didn't hear it on Fresh Baked, but yeah, I heard about the animatronic.
All right, I'm swapping mics because I was told that my other mic might have sounded a little rough. So hopefully, is that better? Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
I swapped them out. So, well, you guys just keep doing a good job, man. It's nice to get to learn about the California parks and to be able to meet so many great people. These people that you have following you that are creating an army of lovers of your channel and your content. I love this concept that the three of you are doing, and listening to some of the things that you all have planned for the future. It sounds absolutely fantastic. So I think it's great.
And Paul has a quick question.
Let me
Go
go
back.
back,
Always got a
Paul.
question.
Yeah.
It says
Do you
scroll
think?
back?
I think he just put it in the chat again,
Oh.
so it's right there. Do you think there?
Do you think Disney thinks good enough for Disneyland and they'll still make tons of money as opposed to a TDL, TDS, and DLP quality? I think that they've been holding back for Disney because they've been wanting to do Disneyland Forward, and it's something they've been wanting to work on. And I think we're going to see a lot coming out of D23, kind of like what Pete mentioned. Mm-hmm. So now that they're able to re-permit a lot of those things, I think we're going to see a lot more coming out of there. I don't think they're good enough, but they obviously, and Paul, you and I have had these conversations before, but they need to do something with Tomorrowland, and they need to definitely make some other changes. It seems like, we're going to do some other things. We're going to come out with Avatar Land, this. And I understand they want to keep things fresh, but one of the things they definitely need to spruce up, and it's needed it for a long, long time. Unfortunately, at Disneyland is Tomorrowland. So,
I don't know if the thing with Disneyland is they've got to be very careful because there are certain things that have transcended nostalgia into sacred for a lot of people. Yeah. So there's and Disneyland has a very tight footprint right now, but has the most bang for your buck as far as attractions. Right. So, if Disneyland doesn't get a ton of new stuff, but they spend it building out more of California Adventure or expanding, into these other areas that they're going to rezone, I would be fine with that because there's a lot in Disneyland that, like I said, I don't want them to touch because, if they were to think of something like, hey, we could do something with Golden Horseshoe, I'd be like, don't you dare. If they were thinking, maybe we could kind of, maybe we should kind of refresh the tiki room. Don't you dare. Those kind of things are where Disneyland, they've got to be smart about what they're doing. And, I'd prefer that they spend the money expanding, rounding out DCA a little bit more, just leave a lot of that Disneyland, especially the things that, had Walt's fingerprints on them, leave those alone, please.
Put in Barry's. Put in Berryland where everybody gets donuts. I'll come to it right away.
So MBs, I know you had a question, but I don't see it. Can you put it back into?
Yeah, we're scrolling back through 3 different chats
I
to see. Okay,
know.
where did she put it?
The one, I think it was if you could replace a ride. I think is that the one?
Oh yeah. I did see one.
Noah. That's from Noah. If you could replace a ride, what would you replace, and what ride would you put in replacement? Ooh,
that is it. Thank you, Noah.
I know what I'm going to say real quick. You guys aren't going to like it, but let's go ahead and by the way, you don't have to take out this specific ride, but maybe you have to take out the place. So the old America Sings building, get rid of that, and maybe part of Autopia. Danny's going to kill me, and put in Tron.
You guys want a Tron? Okay, cool. Cordy, go ahead. I'll let the ladies go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I would like Tron as well, but I don't want to get rid of the lagoon or any of that. I love the lagoon. Oh gosh, I mean, I don't think it's enough space, but I don't really need Buzz.
What are you talking about? Oh,
I'm kidding. No, it's pretty to look at, so it's fine.
I would go old school. I'm not sure what I want to take out. I mean, there's a couple different things. I mean, they finally are doing some work over in Animal Kingdom to bring in everything they're bringing over there. But again, I guess it's because it's my favorite, but I don't think it gets enough love. And I think it's one of Disney's greatest acquisitions when they bought it. I would like to see something more animated, similar to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway with Roger Rabbit. Now, it'd be I would love to see that. It's just me. Probably, of course, again, it's a personal question. So personally, I think that would be cool.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
Well, we got to get you over here on Toonspin. You'd love it.
Well, we don't have a Toontown anymore here either. So I was looking at that on one of you guys streamed the other day. I watch all you guys so much I can't remember who it was, but because I play when I'm working late at night here in the studio building thumbnails and stuff, I'll have you guys on in the background. And I was looking at your Toontown, thinking, man, I really miss that. I was like, I kind of want to see that when I get out there. So that'll be kind of fun.
Casual.
I would take out Smuggler's Run, and I would put in a Tron style coaster, but it would be speeder bikes.
Speeder bikes, nice, good call.
So you'd have the Tron seating arrangement, but it would be speeder bikes. So you'd be flying through the Forest of Endor.
Nice.
I
like that. That's a great call. That's an excellent call. Listen up, Disney. Hashtag.
I know. No, memories. Did you put your question back in the chat?
That was the one that Noah. He put it in for her. Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Let's see. Oh, wait. Did I get that one too? The Stacy's question. Oh boy.
She's asking. Wants, so we have this segment that we do on my Wednesday night shows. It's the baby picture show. The segment is incredibly hot. We have we give away prizes on it. We get points. We do celebrities. We've done Dick Van Dyke. We just did Mark Hamill. We do creators in the community, and she's trying to get you guys to all participate. So I love her intention in the fact of that she's trying to get more California friends in. It is a lot of fun. So
I just had to find a baby picture because unfortunately when my mom passed away, I don't know where it happened to some of those baby photos.
Yeah, but same thing with me.
If you get something close, we can make it work. I mean, so I think Monorail Molly had a question, but we missed it. I don't know what it was.
Right here. Question for Pete. Who's the person you interviewed on your channel that you enjoyed the most?
Oof. Wow.
Just say it's Barry Place 28. It's okay.
That was the first. Now, okay. So I'm gonna give the political answer, but it's the correct answer. And I know Jen's gonna say BS political, but it's the truth. Every one of these interviews that we've done, I've done over 300 interviews on my channel. Okay, from if you include all the Disney creators that I've done up to recently doing multiple interviews with Disney Imagineers with Jen. every one of them is unique. You get to learn something new about somebody that's in this Disney community at different levels, whether they're just a person in the community, because we do that on Sunday nights with the Triple C's, where it's just anybody from the community, to where I've done my older interviews where I've interviewed just about every top YouTuber that you can think of. I've almost interviewed all of them. And at one time, the excitement's there, learning about their channels, what they're doing and all that, to, people like, that we've done recently, like Terry Harden and people like that can sit there and tell stories about knowing Michael Jackson and being friends with him, or, I've had creators on that are 1 degree away from Walt Disney, and things of that nature, so it's not just one person. It's more of what I get out of each and every interview. I haven't had one where I haven't sat back and said, wow, that's cool, because you're learning something new, and then hopefully you're also seeing the people that are watching your channel go over there and say, you know what? Hey, this Barry's place, he's pretty interesting. He does Disney. He does this. I liked his interview. Boom, subscribe. I'll give him a follow and start watching his content. And that's the ultimate fun out of it. For sure.
Very cool.
Well, I don't see any other questions. And I know it's getting late.
Yeah, and as you guys know, I have to be up at 3 a.m. on Tuesdays. So
Great. Let's keep this interview going for about another hour.
So we've got at least another hour to go. So, okay, if there are no other questions, does anybody, last chance, get your questions in?
And if you guys would please take the time to go to all of our channels and hit that like button. We appreciate it. We are working on something new for all of you. And believe it or not, in 2 weeks, we're going to celebrate our 1-year anniversary as the Park Streamers Hangout. And we're looking forward to doing that anniversary show for all of you. So,
yeah. Oh, and I do want to remind everybody, we are raising funds for Children's Hospital of Orange County. We are going to be doing the chalk walk. We may have some additional stuff to announce regarding that, so keep an eye out. But if the mods in all of our channels, if you guys could drop the link for that, so if anybody would like to donate, we started off with a goal of $2,000 to raise, and thanks to so many additional streamers that have come along and joined us with this, we had to keep raising our goal. We are now shooting for $7,500 to be raised.
yes.
That's awesome.
So,
And yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, and thank you to Pete, because I know you tried, you got the word out there for us as well. And obviously, I know they're not here tonight, but we have some other friends, Mr. and Mrs. Dadman Walking 55. They've been helping us as well, getting the word out. All of you have been helping as well. So I just wanted to say thank you to everyone.
And Lynn, she's in the chats. She's raised a tremendous amount as well. Coda Bear, thank you so much for joining us. Living Dead Fam, Winks Wild Ride, Devin, CL, Doom Boogie. You guys, it's. I can't wait. I've been in contact with Chalk to find out if there are any limitations on streaming, and they are going to get back to me, because I believe at some points we are backstage during the Chalk walk. So there could be potential that we can stream, but when we get to the backstage areas, everybody's going to be on a BRB screen.
Yep, that's what happens in Florida with the things. I would expect that.
Okay, so hopefully they will let us stream, and I haven't brought it up to everybody yet, but
Danny, I'll also tell you from past experience in Florida, make sure you tell your people, don't try to be smart and say, oops, I accidentally hit a button real quick and show something, because I know a streamer down there who almost lost all privileges at Disney, had to fight for it, had to take the stream down. They couldn't stream for a year in the parks. It got ugly because they showed some backstage stuff when they were walked through and were told they weren't going to do it. So it's not worth it to play the game. Just follow the guidelines.
Gotcha. We will definitely get the word out to everyone. But I'm hoping, and I don't know if anybody else would like to do this, but I'm planning to on the Saturday before the Chalk Walk, I am going to go to Knott's. I'm going to hang out at Knott's for a live stream. pop over to Disneyland, close the park, and then head out and then just basically do an all-nighter till we get our walking again back in the park. So it's going to be basically, I'm going to be going possibly, 36 hours straight, and I'm hopefully going to be able to get a good battery pack and be able to stream like crazy. So hopefully.
Are you crazy?
So
Maybe-
Saturday, what are you gonna do? Are we all hanging out at Denny's across the street?
That's what I'm figuring. I'm figuring we'll all just go and hang out somewhere. We'll find a spot, and we will just basically be live until it's time to start walking again.
I got my battery packs right here.
That's
Oops.
right. Yeah, we were talking about that. Oh, Christina, we were talking about that too. So that would be fun.
So yeah, that's my hope, my idea that we'll just basically do an all-nighter and just kind of hang out, and then we'll all head back over to Disneyland for the walk.
So I welcome you guys to reach out to me and on the Friday night streams that we do. If you want to come on to promote or push that a little bit more, I'd love that as you go into some of these ventures and pushing this show that you're doing here, which is an excellent show on Monday nights. If you even this Friday night, we're doing a hangout. You're welcome to stop by. You'll and share not only your story for here, but your stories for your channels. And the boss has already texted me and said I'm to make sure that all of you are, not just Barry, all of you are on our Sunday night schedule. If you'd like to do that show, the girls would like to have you come on and be able to talk about your channels and what you're doing and continuing to grow this opportunity for you guys. So for sure.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Thank you, Pete.
It's all about.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me on tonight.
I was going to say, I think we'll go ahead and wrap up. And Pete, on behalf of my co-hosts here, thank you so much for joining us. This has been a fantastic evening with you. And again, thank you for staying up extremely late with us. But if you would like to go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you again.
Yeah, the biggest thing is find me right here on YouTube, Pete McDevitt Show, simple and easy. If you're a Disney fan, you're going to find the happiness over with me. 3 shows a week focused on Disney, 2 of them on interviews on Sunday and Tuesdays. Friday night, a live Disney news and merch show that we do every week, fully updates with brand new stuff. And at the end of every show now, we send over to one of our California friends with a live send over. I now have it linked up where I can send everybody over, which is what we like to do. So, and of course, I put out Disney content every day of the week with executive producers from Florida, California, and France all the time. And if you happen to like sports, well, come on over. Let's talk some football and baseball. The most thing that we like to do is try to help you find the happiness of Disney with so many content creators that are out there. If you come on over and you give us a follow, I guarantee you, I'll put you in touch with some amazing people.
Awesome. Again, thank you, Pete. And we'll go down over here to Cordy. Would you let everybody know where they can find you and what the next time you'll be streaming?
You can find me on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitch. I think that's it. And I will be in the parks tomorrow for the After Dark event. So I'll be
There you go.
Pride night tomorrow and Thursday.
Pride night after dark. Alrighty. And Barry Place 28. Would you let everybody know where they can find you?
Sure. You can find me at Barry Place 28 on all my socials. So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Oh, sorry. That's X now. TikTok and what else? I think that's
OnlyFans.
No. We're selling $10 fans. That's what it is. And just to let you guys know when I'll be streaming again. So it's kind of crazy. Wednesday night was when I wanted to go, but there's nothing available. I think everyone's trying to go on the ticket event night. Yeah. So I will not be going. I have a reservation for Thursday, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Knott's Berry Farm on Wednesday night for once and stream from there. Because I normally don't get to do that during the week because they're always closing early. And then maybe Thursday morning. Shh, don't tell the wife I'm doing one in the morning. So hopefully Disneyland in the morning on Thursday. But if you're following me and you have the notifications turned on, you'll see when I'm going live. And then Ariel and I are planning to, she's probably going to join me for Knott's Berry Farm, but we're going to do trivia again next week. So come join us where it's a lot of fun.
That is fun. I like that.
Yeah, very, very good. The little show you got there with the trivia.
Can I throw out props to your guys, your generosity of you, the three of you, and also I've seen it with Donnie and Jen, what you do for people out there. I constantly, Cordy was giving away memberships tonight, and I've seen Danny with his deck of cards and doing giveaways and everything. Your generosity to those who support you is a beautiful thing, and just should be acknowledged. And I wanted to do that.
We thank you, Pete.
Thank you, Pete. You know, what goes out comes back to you. So
Yeah.
And yes,
Definitely.
Jeff, you are the only person, but you keep buying the wrong fan from me on my OnlyFans. You keep buying the big fan. You need the little test fan. Buy the right one.
sorry. I love you.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been a fantastic evening. Again, thank you, Pete, for coming on with us. And thank you, Bob and Cordy. Again, we're coming up on 1 year. Amazing that we've been able to do this so consistently for this long. And I just want to say thank you to you guys. And thank you to everybody out there in the chats and everybody Ninja watching. We appreciate you. And we hope that you will join us on our next adventures. And we'll be back again for Park Streamers Hangout, celebrating 1 year in 2 weeks on July 1st. So we hope you guys will join us for that. We're hoping to have some special guests and possibly some other surprises happening that night as well. So until next time, friends, we will see you guys in the parks. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
We hope you enjoyed our amazing show tonight. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on the next Park Streamers Hangout. Have a good night, everyone.